And we're back. We're just going to pretend that never happened. It's the multiverse, Zach.
It is.
You know, multiverse, Mean Gene, and multiverse, you know, our doppelgangers, they were having trouble, but not us.
No, I don't even know who those people were, me and Gene. But we are back in control now, and that's all that matters, right?
Oh, what do they call that in the Marvel universe?
Oh, I don't watch those movies. Oh, I mean, I was going to say, I shouldn't have said that. Oh.
What? We're going to take a short break as I choke the shit out of Zach.
Is this worse than the Larry Reynolds thing that Johnny did? I mean, come on.
No, definitely not. You got to know who Larry McReynolds is. All right, so qualifying is underway. 3 minutes remaining. Not really a good indicator, though, in my opinion, of who's going to be competitive. We could look at last year. But again, super speedway, so chaotic. It's just a matter of who's alive at the end. No faster pairs here in Monday Night Mayhem. So this really is going to be a battle of attrition, and you're just trying to hold on till the end. Last year, we saw the Florida man, Jax Duvall, take the pole and the win, but there's no Duvall here tonight. Second place, David Owens, part-time driver, not here tonight. Jack Sanders, the Colonel, Season 2 champion, took third, is here tonight. Jack's the guy we've seen make some late moves to win races, so I think that DX team ought to be pretty interesting with Kevin Kyle, that iRacing win last year, iRacing Super Speedway, and then Jack Sanders having good speed. And, you know, Steve Lewis behind him as well. That's a Gen XX factor. It'll be neat to see what that DX team can do this race.
And yeah, teams are so important at these racetracks. Me and Gene, it's really everything. As you see our playoff picture going into this race, the top four guys right now being Bollinger, Iverson, Novella, and Kevin Kyle. But yeah, you are so right. It's gonna really matter who you have helping you out today. And we're already seeing some, I guess you could say, special guests in the field today. I'm seeing one Daniel Smith out here.
Yep.
So that is. Jonathan Case of Beer is out here, so that is not going to hurt.
Nope. Also, Dylan Tibbetts is back. That's that 44 Toyota. He's out here for himself, gonna go for a dub, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the end. Great super speedway racer. Hey, how about the 43 Ford of Zach Clausen? No one is marked safe from Farmer here today, as the 43 also gonna make an appearance. You know, you mentioned Daniel Plant Smith. That team is together now. That team delusional, that Mo Power team, that's Colin Bollinger in the 53, Daniel Plant Smith in the 031, Sean Walton in the 67, and Andrew Bolander in the 24. So all four of those guys here tonight, gonna be tough to beat that team. But then turn around, Case of Beer is here. No Michael Mata. Very unfortunate. Michael did miss the first race in the round of 12. Came up short last week. Second place, so close. Case of Beer going to be running without his buddy Mata tonight.
Yeah, that would have been really, really helpful for Case of Beer, for Alex Hillman, for a lot of guys in this field here today. It's a shame that Michael Mata is not here. And also, not to mention just how entertaining it is every time we get to watch that dude around a track like this. But speaking of entertaining, I am looking at the qualifying order as it's getting close to wrapping up, and we are in for pure insanity. But before we go over this qualifying order, I mean, why don't we send it over to our good friend a little bit early?
Let's go down there.
Let's do it. Over to you, Mr. James.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, the star of Universal Pictures movie, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, Kevin James.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
And they're getting fired up right now, me and Gene. And while the drivers are getting their race cars ready to go, why don't we take a look at the order they'll be starting in?
Vroom, vroom. Look at the top. This guy's been knocking on the door all year. Pole position tonight, the number 18, Justin Farr. I'm going to be sitting on the pole, first pole of the year. Congratulations to the 18. On the front row with him, going to be Jordan Fisher. Jordan, not part of the playoffs, but he and Colin both have 4 wins. That's something that we could watch as this develops to see if one of them, which of the two, might win most races if Jordan continues to get to join us for the playoffs. Third, Jonathan Sabir, part-time driver, lots of speed, all throttle, no brakes. Fourth, Dalton Geyer. Geyer, the 8th man in the playoff round of 8. What a great start for the DDI 36. Joe Volpus going to start in 5th, another playoff driver looking to continue that streak of super speedway victories. Alex Hillman, if Tough Break had a picture, Zach, it would be Alex. 3 races in a row, Hillman has been destroyed, not of his making. Zach Clausen going to start her in 7th. Zach, part-time driver, going to make a run here tonight. Tony Iverson, 2nd in points, starting in the 8th position. Going to need help from his teammates. No David Owens tonight. No Buddy Sully tonight. Tony looking for friends. Hunter Hall going to start in 9th, and Eric Thornton going to be in 10th.
Lining up 11th is going to be Dylan Tibbetts. 12th will be Kevin Kyle. Keep your eye on KK here today. He's one of our round of 8 drivers. 13th is going to be Daniel Smith, a part-timer, but always a threat to win when he's in the field. 14th, Grant Applegate by the skin of his teeth, just like Mean Gene was talking about, made it to the round of 8. What can he do here at Dega? Zach Winstead will be starting in 15th. John Beverly, 16th. Steve Louis will be in 17th. Eric Gambrell doing double duty, just finished the DDIRL race at the same racetrack, will be in 18th place. Colin Bollinger, not a fan of this type of racing, and no surprise that he did not qualify. He'll be starting in 19th, along with Andrew Bullender out of the playoffs. A shocking development done last week. Bollinger will be starting in 20th, helping out his teammates. Speaking of helping teammates, these drivers are all lined up. Sean Walton will be in 21st. Ken Greniger will be in 22nd. 23rd will be Matt Novello, another round of 8 driver, and rounding out the field is the past champion of Jack Sanders, a 24-car field here today at Talladega. That's the biggest field we've seen in a minute, Mean Gene.
Zach, what do you think of Novello starting back in 23rd? We saw Colin Bollinger take that position of not qualifying kind of in the middle of the regular season, and I feel like his finishing positions dipped. I feel like he wasn't quite as dominant, but this is a super speedway. Things are different, but still kind of a bold move by Novella right now. Novella is in 3rd in points at the moment, but that's a guy that needs a good finish. You in the back of the field, you could turn into Mr. T-Bone.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like the really safe place to be is the back of the field, but it can happen so quick here at Dega, and the stack-ups are massive to where sometimes there truly is nowhere to go. But hey, I mean, that is safer than, 8th to 15th place in this race here. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what, this is Dega, and things are about to get wild.
Speaking of damned if you don't, 24 drivers. So if you have a bad finish here today, it could cost you, and playoff drivers cannot afford that. Pace car is off the track. Justin Parham in the 18 Chevrolet is in the pole, getting ready to come. And here goes the flag man. Go, go, go. Away we go. Parham trying to get a run. You can see Fisher giving him a little bit of a push there on the inside. Joe Volpus, 3rd car, inside lane. Outside lane now making a move. That's Fisher looking up high, red and black. That's not in his typical car, but hey, we're going to work with it today. Cuts down into the front. Jordan Fisher going to take over the lead. 4 wins on the season, looking for his 5th here early at Talladega. Other movers, look at Jonathan Sabir now. 3rd car on the inside lane. Light touch to Parham. Now goes up high. Said, hey, Dalton, why don't you give me a push? I'll lead a lap here today. Oh, look how high Alex goes, and gonna be left. Dalton goes left out alone. Hunter, which DDI driver is that?
That's Alex Hillman in the VRN Chevy right there. Definitely just got a big push from Tony Iverson, shoved him outside 3 wide, and no one followed him. I think they kind of saw why that happened. And yeah, Jordan Fisher, doesn't matter if we're at a road course, a speedway, or a super speedway, he wants to lead and he wants to do it early. But one of the strongest super speedway racers in this field here today is Jonathan Sabir, and he's leading that outside lane. We talked talked about how dangerous Dalton Geyer is going to be here today. And one thing, too, that I'm sure they're a little bit disappointed about is I can guarantee you that case of beer, Geyer and Hillman are communicating together in Discord. So that's a shame that they lost that 08. But so far, so good as he's pushing that 73 to the lead.
Outside lane looking good, gonna stay with each other right now. Dalton goes a little bit high, has to let off the throttle to get back in line, and that's gonna let Fisher and Parham draw back even, and now the inside lane gets a little bit more momentum as they go down that back stretch. You know, Zach, I was watching that race earlier. Do you know you got more DDI guys here in the Monday Night Mayhem series than you do in the DDI Racing League?
I'd honestly prefer that, because I feel like when there's too many DDI cars in the DDIRL, it kind of feels like an insiders club, and that's the last thing that we want. So, hey, I just appreciate how much that field has grown outside of DDI, and I'm proud to watch these guys doing their thing in the best of the best here in the Premier Cup. But yeah, it is kind of funny, isn't it?
It is, you know, and I actually chatted a little bit. Oh, Parham gonna look up high, gets in front of Case of Beer. Great move. Parham now looking to take advantage. And look at Dalton already being very cautious as he lets off when that move occurs, closes the gap quickly with the draft capabilities of the next gen car. But how about Geyer? He saw that aggressive move, quickly backed off. Very smart driving right early there by the 36 Chevrolet.
Yeah, you love to see that. I mean, what Dalton has always told me, because he's you see Parham going back to the bottom here to block that line. But what Dalton's oftentimes my voice of reason, and he always tells me, you want to finish him first, but to finish him first, you have to first finish. And that is Dalton right there, thinking of that and making a responsible move, kind of backing up just in case something went wrong. Tony Iverson doing the same to not make that too sketchy of a situation. Parham being really aggressive here early. Parham no longer part of the playoffs, so he has nothing to lose. He's just racing for trophies, and he's showing that aggression early.
You know, speaking of nothing to lose, how about that 43 creeping up fourth car on the inside lane? That's Zach Clausen. That's a fella that is all brake, no gas, and somebody you got to be aware of where he is on the track. Clausen does race Bonfire Sunday in the same Premier Cup, so he's got a lot of experience, and I've seen him race a lot of rated, so he's got a lot of hours behind the wheel. But Monday Night Mayhem, this is a different breed of driver. These guys all accustomed to wide open racing, and Clausen more of the rated guy. That could be a clash of style. Look at Daniel Plant-Smith go 3 wide with Applegate. Wow.
Well, that was a big blink by Geyer as well. Oh boy. That was scary for the 36 there, as he pretty much blinked out all the way through 3 and 4 and came back right in between Iverson and Case of Beer. Don't want to see that happen too many times. One thing you're also seeing is you saw the Geyer right there, the second car in line, and this is going to happen for every car that's the second car in line. I think that's why that outside line is losing momentum besides that blink. But it's also, you have to make sure your car doesn't overheat. We've seen engines blow here in the past, and it's the car that's most vulnerable to that is the second car in line. And there you go, Dalton Geyer going to duck into the inside line here and try to cool off that engine, as it looked like he was getting close to overheating it. And that outside lane has just out of nowhere, Mean Gene, completely fallen apart.
We saw that earlier as well. That outside lane would look like it would have momentum and then would vanish, but come back. In the ARCA cars, you only need 4 to be as fast with that side drafting help. What about these next gen cars? How many cars do you think you really need to have on the outside? Inside lane, if it has 10, 15 cars, how many do you really need on the outside to make it work? Because there's 5 right there trying. Is that enough?
I don't think so. I think you might need even more than you need in ARCA cars. I mean, it's hard to find a car that's slower and more of a slug than an X-Gen is. Just because this car is really, really difficult to drive does not mean it's fast. They've underpowered this car to try to keep these drivers closer together, and it really creates issues here at these super speedways. It makes the runs huge because of, as you see right there, because of the holes that gets punched in the air, but these cars don't have the horsepower they need to really make 1 or 2 car runs at tracks like this. So I think you're gonna need at least 5, Mean Gene, because it did seem like in the ARCA race it was 4+ to do anything of meaning.
Yeah, trying as hard as they can. You can see Dylan Tibbetts now taking over the first place of the outside row So he's in that 44th Taco Bell. We've seen that purple car on the outside leading the group before. We saw it at Daytona. Here he is back again, trying to make it happen. Looks like outside lane now making it work. There's about 8 in that, and that's going to be plenty. Great racing here early on at Daytona live on the at Talladega live on the Vortex Racing Network.
Yeah, it is amazing racing, but what I'm also noticing is that outside lane, they have to work so hard just to stay somewhat even for the inside lane. Those pushes up there are far more sketchy than they are in the inside lane. Oh man, that doesn't prove my point well right there, as Parham and Fisher get together and gets Parham a little bit squirrely. But the outside lane really working hard, side drafting super hard, and also giving themselves big bumps down the front and backstretch to try to stay even with the inside lane as they're making really good forward progression. You see someone like Joseph Volpis already up to 3rd place.
Yeah, Joe Volpis, he is in that catbird seat waiting to see what's going to happen in front of him. Got Clausen behind him. Those two guys, they got a long relationship back all the way back to online racing on a console. So wouldn't be surprised to see the 43 stick around with Volpis for a while, but that's not how it will be at the end. Clausen many times has stated, I'm gonna win this bitch. So I don't think you can trust him when you come down to that last lap. Outside lane, trying to make it work. You can see just how close the second car of Sabir is. But I think if that outside lane is really going to work, we're going to need to see Iverson, especially Thornton behind him. That's the 3rd and 4th car on the outside lane. They're going to have to take chances if they want this outside lane to get up and go past.
What could also mix it up, though, Mean Gene, is a lap car, and they're about to catch Matt Novella. Not quite sure how Novella lost so much time, but Novella is really, really close to this back. There it is right there. I mean, right now he does have the shark on his car, but the Jaws music is playing to him as this pack is catching him in a hurry. And Matt Novella is going to have a decision to make. Does he want to try to hold his line and catch this draft, or is he going to go below the apron? Here we go.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Mean Gene's never been there before, but if I was, I would stay low and say, y'all going to have to figure it out.
And it appears that Dalton Geyer has either crashed or had to park it due to a connection issue. We will check that out after this field gets through the 56. This is going to be a big moment here as you see how sketchy it is right there with Hunter Hall.
Hunter Hall trying to hold on. He is your leader in the best of the rest tournament. Dips a little bit below the apron, but that's just to avoid the wreck, not to pass anybody. And you can see Sanders gets behind him quickly in the 25. Meanwhile, holy smoly, 2 playoff drivers having problems. Dalton Geyer vanishing. That's your number 8 driver. And Matt Novella going a lap down. That's your number 3 driver in playoff points. This is crazy there, Zach. Crazy.
Yeah, not good. And those are also teammates. We talked before the race about how important teamwork was going to be. And Daily Drivers Inc. already losing 2 of their strongest members. Their 2 playoff drivers. Not losing, I should say, with Matt Novella, as you can definitely recover from this. And that was worth the gamble as he kept the pack. As now he's going to go below the apron, let these guys pass him, but probably try to keep the draft here. And let's see if anything did happen to Dalton Geyer now that we have a second. Oh, no, it looks like it was just a connection issue. Me and Gene, as I'm not seeing anything as I try to find him. No, Dalton Geyer just appearing to lose connection. That is such a shame at this point in the season.
Yeah, Dalton Geyer, he was 8th in points coming into this chase, last man in. And I mean, honestly, 7 points or 8 points behind Kevin Kyle for that 4th position. I don't want to say win and you're in, but the way that all these playoff drivers finish races, you gotta win almost. And of the 3 races in the round of 8, Talladega, Iowa next week, Michigan, the cutoff race for the round of 8. This is the one that the DDI driver of Dalton Geyer had circled. Now suddenly finds himself in a must. How many times can I say must win for Iowa and Michigan?
Yeah, he definitely does. Dalton Geyer looks like he, just like last week, is not going to give up yet. He's in the pits right now. I'm assuming he had to tow, so that's probably about a 2-minute penalty. So he's going to be several laps down. But we've seen crazier things happen here at Talladega, especially considering there's no fast repair here in this league, different than DDIRL. So if he can just get that car back out there, there may be positions to be had, as there's not barely a such thing as a small wreck here at Talladega. So we'll have to see what happens for Geyer for the rest of the day, but certainly not the way he wanted to start this round of 8. And because, like you said, he had to have had this race circled as his chance to win, and you can definitely assume that that has gone out the window.
3 laps down, Geyer needs to get this thing back on the track. Remember, Matt Novello, the 56 Chevrolet, already won lap.
Case of Beers around into Tony Iverson. Iverson into the wall, into Daniel Plant Smith, but it looks like Iverson should be okay. Case of Beer definitely getting the worst of that. Gambrel barely missing it. Bollinger looks like he gets through it. Multiple playoff drivers somewhat involved, but we are under caution for the first time today.
Hibbett also had a piece of that, but he managed to make his way out of it. I'm looking at maybe Walton involved, Gambrel, Beverly, and Case of Beer. Rough. So that's what Novella needed. That's going to get Novella back on the lead lap unless he was part of that foolishness. Let's take a look.
So here we go. We're going down the backstretch right here. Case of Beer getting a push from Tony Iverson. Hunter Hall getting pushed by the 27. I'm wondering where this incident's going to start, and it looks like just a too late of a push from Tony Iverson. You don't want to get pushed in the corner on this race car and straight into the Daily Drivers Inc. car. Those cars are just magnets for anything bad to happen here. And then Alex Hillman going to be part of this, as well as Daniel Tibbetts in the 44, and there goes Plant Smith.
Wow, Tibbetts basically in the rear seat of Iverson. Looks like Hillman had contact. Case of Beer backwards in the silver 73. Iverson heavy contact. And then Plant Smith, a little bit of front end damage. We're going to monitor that. First caution of the day here on lap number 15. Oh, my word. It was going to happen. And there it is. Mm-hmm. It's not the big one, but oh.
No, it'll get worse than that. And just check out this camera shot right here. That 26 of Hunter Hall has front end damage, as is the 13 of Tony Iverson. A couple cars behind that, you have the 44 of Daniel Tibbetts. His front end is dented in.
I mean, he was through him. He was through the 13.
Oh, yeah, he got to know Tony real well during that wreck. We also saw Alex Hillman get into someone, but doesn't look like it's too bad for Hillman. I'm assuming the whole field going to pit here.
Yeah, lap 15. I think these cars make it about 23, 24 laps on fuel. We're going to have a stage points awarded, no caution scheduled, though, end of lap 38. So taking fuel here should make it to the end of the stage. So I would imagine everybody should come in, take that fuel, and they should be good to go at least till the end of the stage, halfway point, lap 38.
Parham misses
Justin,
his box.
What are you doing? Don't do that.
So that's going to do it for the lead on Justin Parham. Absolutely no way he comes out here with the lead. And there goes Volpes. Few guys elected to take tires, which is a little bit surprising in a track like this, especially this early. But Joseph Volpes, the new leader of the race, and he'll be followed by Jordan Fisher. And it looks like Parham's going to lose 2 spaces there. He'll end up in 3rd.
Yeah, Parham going to fall back after that little kerfuffle that he had overshooting his pit stall. Came right back. Maybe he thought his was the next one.
Yeah, except that his pit stall won our pole sitter.
Why?
So he kerfuffed all the place. He kerfuffed a lot.
Nothing like fuffling here at Talladega. So new order, Joe Volpes gonna be your leader. Jordan Fisher second, coming out of the pits. Justin Parham holds on to 3rd though, and behind him, how about Clausen moving up? He's in 4th, and then here we go. Kevin Kyle, playoff driver. He is 4th in points, but you know what? Nothing feels better than a win, and a win in is sweeter than the points in.
It absolutely is. You get to just focus on that championship race. You don't have to think about these next 2 rounds. Your ticket is punched. So this is a big opportunity for all 8 of these drivers, and they really want to visit victory lane. As much as you'd love to put yourself in a good point situation for those last 2, man, winning this race has to be everything. I don't think of any of these, I think second place is going to sting the most today.
People not thinking about winning, just thinking about survival right now. Jonathan Casabier, Tony Iverson still in the pit, Matt Novella, Dalton Geyer as well, trying to get some repair done. as we are here on lap number 16. Hey, while we're under caution, let's give a big shout out to Chantilly Lace Photography. That is the league sponsor this year, all year long. Thank you so much to Brandon and Krista Guerin for bringing the heat here today. Also, if you are on the East Coast or anywhere close, these are the people you need to reach out to handle your family photography needs. They do more than just a wedding. They can do your engagement. They can do a bar mitzvah. They can do boudoir photos. They can do headshots for actors. Any of your still photography needs, any of your digital video needs, reach out. Chantilly Lace, 3 locations on the East Coast, Charleston and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as well as Savannah, Georgia. Ask for Brandon, ask for Kristen. 20 years experience, 3 locations, 30 plus employees. Zach, that's a lot of years of taking pictures.
I mean, you can tell by that shot right there just how well they can capture the moment. So lucky to have Chantilly Lace as a sponsor. Big shout out to the Guerin family, and thank you so much for all your support all season and making this possible, because we are having a great time. And I think just as much as these drivers have had this one circled, I think we have too, Mean Gene, and it's already delivering.
Yeah, Talladega, definitely a spot where everybody thinks they got a shot at winning this thing. Right now, plenty of playoff drivers. You know, we haven't mentioned Grant Applegate, Eric Thornton at all today. They're in 10th and 11th. But these are a couple of guys that have been so competitive, running in the top 5, basically the second half of the season. Come to a track like Talladega, everybody's fast here. This car, the package just puts everybody so close together, and it's just indicative of, I think, the speed of the Monday Night Mayhem series as well. You could be fast in so many series. You come to this series, you run a few intermediate tracks, you could get lost into the blend. And that's what's so great about the super speedway, is it lets all those other names come right back up to the front. You know, Parham, Zach Clausen, Zach Winstead. All of a sudden we get to talk about fellows that we don't always get to talk about on the intermediate courses. Pace car out of the way, getting ready to go green. Joe Vulpes is going to be your control car, the 11 on the inside, slow rolling it. Let's see when he drops that hammer.
Green flag, green
There
flag.
it is.
Wow, he waited almost till the end. Jordan Fisher matches him side by side down the front stretch, across the start-finish line. No big jump there by Vulpes, but Fisher doesn't have the help on the outside lane that Vulpes does. Vulpes getting a great push from Parham. And now look at Kevin Kyle, Kenneth Redinger, Alex Hillman, all tight on that inside lane. Meanwhile, outside lane, it's a 2-car show.
It really is. As you see Steve Lewis really pushing that 27 and saying, let's go, buddy. Zach Winstead getting all he can handle right now from Lewis. These pushes right here in the beginning of these runs are pretty wild. You even see the 43 of Clausen really pushing Jordan Fisher in that outside lane, falling apart again early on as Joe Vulpes running away with Parham, giving him great pushes, and Kevin Kyle running there in third.
You know, that's something funny we also saw in the DDI Racing League Talladega earlier, where there were a few guys that could make that outside work, but unless they were that lead car, the outside lane fell apart very quickly. It's such a skill. It's such a preference also of how you run the outside. Yes, side drafting will slow the car in front of you, but if you're 10 deep to the inside lane, why are you side drafting? Try to find that speed that you can. Sean Walton now leading, and here you go. See how he's almost in the middle? He's low enough to not open the door for a third lane to start, but he's not so low that he's slowed down by that 43 of Clausen. He ought to get a good run. Sean Walton leading that outside lane spells nothing but excitement for me, Zach.
Right, I agree. And what I think is most important about making this outside work, and we definitely learned that during the DDIRL race here just about an hour ago, is the leader of that line. You need a bold leader that's willing to take those big pushes. It's the only way to make forward progression on that outside lane. I mean, it's obviously the longer way around the track, so you got to find some way to make up that speed. And right now, I think the combination of Sean Walton and Jordan Fisher is great, as long as the field doesn't send them 3 wide. That's not going to help.
Let's go racing. Boogity, boogity. Don't touch the wall. Oh, he tried. continuing to race. Hey, little bit of housekeeping here. Looks like Dylan Tibbetts has called it the 44, parking it here, lap 19. So first man down, going to be that 44 Taco Bell Toyota of Dylan Tibbetts.
Yeah, and it looks like Dalton Geyer back on track. He is 5 laps down, so he'll need 5+ cautions to be back on the lead lap. But just like what we just saw, Daniel Tibbetts out of this race. That's going to be a position for Geyer. He's up to 23rd. So that's how you survive and advance in these round of 8 playoffs when you're in this situation right here. And you see these guys, they're starting to flirt with 3 wide, but then you see Sean Walton just duck down the second the door opened for the inside lane. He said, screw this, and went right down there. A lot of guys starting to prefer that inside lane. But I think if you want to go forward, you got to find a way to make the outside work, or else you're just going to be another guy on that single file line.
Yeah, you got to make sure, though, you stay low enough so that you don't open the door and invite the 3 wide. Oh, tight racing right there. Look how quickly we saw that slam down move of the 39 of Jordan Fisher getting back in line on the inside. Here we go. Grant Applegate, a master of running the Larson line, now leading the outside. Got Walton behind him. Walton's going to go as fast as he can. Got Daniel Plant Smith out there. John Beverly, the commish. Lots of speed on the outside lane, but it's really going to be on that third car. How tight is that third car willing to get? Because that's how fast you're going to go.
Fisher moves his way to the outside. That creates a checkup on the inside. The 43 gets really, really squirrely there. Checks up Bollinger behind him. and that outside lane starting to get more and more takers. Now it looks like it's Redinger who's down to lead it. It was Jordan Fisher who wanted it before, so now we got Fisher, Redinger, and then Grant Applegate. Sean Walton back up to that top lane. And then on the inside, it's still Volpus leading it, being pushed by Parham and the 22. I'm sorry, that is the Redinger on the outside.
And
so
now here we go, Kevin Kyle.
That's Kevin Kyle.
Kevin Kyle says, I'm going to lead a lap. Go.
Kevin Kyle looking to lead a lap, and that is something you need to do as a round of 8 driver. And just look at these pushes. Jordan Fisher all the way up the rear end of Kevin Kyle down this back stretch. He is really forcing his way down here. Look at that lead they've opened up. Fisher going to try to look inside. Kevin Kyle going to block the move. They're going to go in the inside line together. Caution's out.
2 cars. And caution. Oh, we're in the wall.
Louis in the
Lance
wall.
Smith in the wall.
It looks like Iverson could have been involved in this one as well. Louis in this one. And the second caution of the day is out, which is going to set up a pretty good battle for the stage win when we go back green. But let's see what caused that yellow. No wreck on my data, so I'm just going to, I guess, find Steve Lewis when in doubt, right?
Yeah, look at them looking at each other right there, too.
All right, let's take a look here. Keep your eye on that 88
Louis
here.
kept going high. And it was a matter of time.
Oh, I think you're right, man, Jane. That's what's about to happen, isn't it? Oh, boy.
Oh, and Beverly.
Boy, oh, boy. Beverly
that was one of the things. You don't want to side draft, but you can't leave that open in the middle.
No, you can't.
I've seen a lot of arguments of drivers on the inside saying, why don't you give me room? Well, I can't give you room because the knucklehead behind me is going to get a good run and make it 3 wide. And then here, Louis doesn't recognize it. And I can't tell if that's net code or if Louis didn't think that Plant Smith was that close. But, Smith has won these super speedway races. He's not a guy that's just going to sit back and wait. He's going to win it here on lap 23.
Yeah, you have to know that. You have to know the guys you're racing around and their tendencies. You're really right about that. And Louis definitely paying for it right there. And then, and then Plant Smith behind them. He has been involved in both cautions today. Residual damage in both of them for him. So that's got to be frustrating for the part-timer right there. Who's had a successful season when we have gotten to see him. So now it's going to be interesting to see, do these guys want to pit again? I doubt it, me and Gene.
Well, I mean, it matters. If I'm in the last 10 cars, I do.
Everybody besides Kevin Kyle and Hunter Hall.
I meant if I'm in second back, I pit. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened.
And who's really happy about this? Dalton. Dalton says thank you. That's
He
one
did.
down, 4 to go.
Yep, one more. He's going to get the lucky dog here. He's going to get the drive around these leaders as long as he didn't get any residual damage in that, which I don't think he did, is there he goes around the leaders. Dalton Geyer only 4 laps down.
Grit.
Chipping
I
away
mean,
at
this
it
guy
just like
needs
last
a-
week.
He needs a picture of John Wayne on his damn car. He's going to be
does.
doing True Grit every week. Hey, I'll
I
tell you
agree.
what, while we're under this caution, let's go ahead and give a big shout out to another one of our lovely sponsors. How about KK Woodscapes?
Yeah, let's give a quick shout out to the amazing KK Woodscapes, who's been a great
And I'm going to
sponsor
give a
for
quick
us.
shout out to Buffalo Trace.
Oh, yeah. Wait, who's Buffalo Trace? Oh, there's no audio. You can explain to us who Buffalo Trace is, because I want to know. Oh, I see what he was doing. Well, guys, check out KK Woodscapes. Amazing trophies, and definitely are one of the awesome sponsors for the Drive to 500. And he has shown us some previews of that trophy he's working on, and that thing is beautiful. So make sure to check that out and check out KK Woodscapes to commemorate any of your iRacing wins or any of your personal accomplishments. Shout out to the chat. We see some Jordan Fisher fans over in the YouTube chat. Always a popular driver in these MRL fields is Jordan Fisher. So Kevin Kyle and Hunter Hall, the only drivers not to pit there. Everybody else coming down, and looking at my data, it looks like mostly just for fuel, maybe a few guys taking 2 tires, but the vast majority of this field only taking fuel. But that could change things. There's not going to be a caution for that stage. So if this thing was to somehow stay green, that could definitely change the outcome of this race. But I think if you're Hunter Hall or Kevin Kyle, your only focus right now has to be those stage points. Expecting to see the lights go off the pace car this time, and we should be going
Ooh,
green.
look, people going back in the pit. So is that more caution repair, damage repair, or is that just a little touch up?
Looks like for Geyer, that might be more caution repair and just, oh my gosh, just barely stays on the lead lap. And in front of them, that is Daniel Plant Smith. That's likely more caution repair, or damage repair, I should
Yeah,
say.
Bollinger, Gambrel, Andrew Bolander, all down there. John Beverly as well in the pit. So I would imagine that is getting a little bit of damage done. Also, earlier you could see Novello, Lewis, Iverson, and Plant Smith all in the pit for about a minute and 55 plus. So getting the damage done. This is a track you can't afford to have a whole lot of damage on the car. If you got too much damage, you're going to lose that lead pack, and then all of a sudden you find yourself 4, 5, 6 seconds a lap slower, and it just gets worse and worse.
Nothing more miserable than that, really, genuinely, especially at a track like this. And what's also, I mean, you have to mention about a place like Dega in the playoffs is not only is this a golden opportunity for those who might have a harder time finishing in first place at a more traditional track, this is also a really bad, I guess you could say, risk for the drivers like Bollinger and Iverson, and we're already seeing it. These guys are just dominant on the normal tracks, but you come here and the playing field is completely even, and they are oftentimes right in the middle of the pack amongst the squirrels, and they get caught up in these wrecks, and that is what we've already seen here today. So it's going to be fun to see what the playoff picture looks like when everything is said and done.
Yeah, speaking of getting stuck in the middle of the pack, how about Zach Clausen? Only guy that took 4 tires. He was running top 5. Now finds himself in 13th after that pit stop. So will that hold until the end of the race? Will it make a difference? Daytona, I've really seen tires help you hold the apron better. Talladega, not so sure. We'll have to just keep an eye out. Kevin Kyle, Hunter Hall, both those guys stayed out. Gonna go green here with Kyle on the inside as the control car. Rolling it across, waiting to see when Kyle drops it. Waits for late, gets a good jump on Hall. Grant Applegate gonna go with him, as is Jordan Fisher. Kyle, Applegate, Fisher on the inside. Hunter Hall, first car on the outside. Can't quite get the gap to drop down, has to hold firm. But now outside row, getting it together, 6 deep, 7 deep, inside only 6 cars, and then a big jump back to Jack Sanders. Whoa. Oh, look at them getting wild. Sanders trying to catch up quickly. Walton going to drop down to the inside lane. Outside lane, all scattered. Applegate, Fisher, inside lane, Kyle, Redinger. This is some wild stuff going into 3.
Applegate and Fisher with an amazing move right there. Just making an aggressive move, bailing on Kevin Kyle, and it worked out. Applegate to the lead, being pushed by Fisher, and then they're going to take the inside away from the 29. Wow, aggressive driving there from Applegate and Fisher, but it's working out. These guys are just brilliant right now. And then Justin Parham, no matter where, or no matter what's going on or what phase of the race we've been in, he's been up front. Justin Parham quickly finds his way, and now he is leading the outside lane.
Jordan Fisher and Grant Applegate are in Discord together. First time we've seen that happen. They are familiar with each other's driving styles, but haven't worked together this closely. And both of them, guess who they're talking to? They're in a chat with Thornton and Iverson. Wow. So the high side hustlers might not have David Owens and Buddy Sully, but you plug in Grant Applegate and Jordan Fisher, and those are a couple of fast fellas to have in your chat.
Don't think you can find a better replacement for David Owens and company than those two.
No, both those guys. I mean, those are top 5 drivers, top 1 arguably as well. And now suddenly High Side Hustlers has 4 fast dudes all chatting. Meanwhile, Parham back into the lead, took the pole, showing speed. Joe Volpus behind him, and then Applegate, Fisher as well on the apron, making it work. Outside lane, here comes Eric Thornton.
Yeah, Thornton being pushed by Hunter Hall and Alex Hillman, and then Joe Volpus just being the best pusher out there right now for Parham, showing why he's won 5 of the last super speedway races that he has been in. Unbelievably strong at this type of racing. A lot of people want to say this is all luck, but someone like Joseph Volpus will show you that there's quite a bit of skill that goes into being good at this type of racing.
Oh, no, by the way, a little bit of housekeeping. Looks like John Beverly now stuck in the pits trying to get some repair done. Already sees himself 6 laps down. Meanwhile, on the track, 3 wide, Zach Winstead, Daniel Plant-Smith, Sean Walton on the outside. Sean, he doesn't get excited, 6-7.
Yep, Mr. 6'7" didn't have any help, so he had to just file in there behind Smith. Not too much damage done there. Up front, Eric Thornton to the lead, being pushed by Hunter Hall. Look at this, as Thornton looking for his first win of the season. We talked to him last week, and he said he knows it's coming. He knows he can point his way in the championship race, but he also admitted that he would so much rather just get that thing to victory lane, where it's been overdue all season.
Eric Thornton also, we've just seen him be one of the top 3 drivers the second half of the season. No surprise to see him putting it together. Inside lane now getting that momentum back, though. As you can see, Parham, Volpus, and Applegate committed to the inside. Outside, though, you can see the aggressiveness. Thornton needs a win. Hunter Hall doesn't get hungrier than that. Alex Hillman and Jonathan Sabir, good to see him running back up front again after getting some extensive repairs on that 73 Ford.
Pretty amazing recovery there from Jonathan Sabir to be running back up front after some pretty extensive damage and a good sized hit. So really never saying die, the DDI driver of Jonathan Sabir. Up front, you still have Justin Parham being pushed by Volpus. Then you have the group of Hall, Hillman, and the leader of Eric Thornton on that outside lane. The pay window is nearly open for those stage points. Only 5 to go until stage points are paid out, and those are absolutely massive here in the round of 8. And a third lane has formed.
Let's 3 wide. Let's go, Hillman and Sabir. Kenneth Redinger going to go with him. Whoa, Daniel Plant-Smith goes onto the apron when there's a 3 wide going on. Who's driving that car, Zach?
Oh, boy, maybe Jesus took the wheel right there, because this is insanity, and this is what makes drivers nervous. The inside lane there of Thornton and Hall and Kevin Kyle going to try to make this work. Just look how squirrely it is up top there. Alex Hillman holding on for everything he has, and that inside lane starting to escape here. They definitely seem to have it the easiest.
Well, and then here comes Louis as well to get 4 on the outside. Finally, Walton going to drop down into the inside lane. That's going to make that middle lane fall apart. I expect to see it quickly reshuffle. Still 3 wide, about 6-7 deep though, so they're going to need to figure out. Yeah, I didn't mean that 6-7. They're going to need to figure that out. And finally, here it goes. About 6 back, they're going to go 2 wide. That was a little bit wild.
Yeah, those guys seem to learn pretty quickly. They went 3 wide. They made about a lap and a half, and they quickly thought, actually, never mind. This is way too sketchy. Let's save that for later in the race. One of the guys that's moving around a lot right now is Daniel Plant-Smith in that 31 Pennzoil car. He is being pushed hard by Alex Hillman through the corner right there. But Daniel Plant-Smith, one that can often take those big pushes. He is a good guy to lead that outside lane so it can make some forward progression. We'll see what they can do here as that outside lane already having more takers. You see Bollinger go out there as well.
I'm wondering about Plant-Smith. Remember, he got caught up in that accident with the 88 of Steve Lewis. I'm wondering how much damage is on that car, what its aero capabilities are. Trying his best to hold on to that monster as Hillman just giving him massive pushes. But will Plant-Smith be able to make that speed work? And now you can already see hints of a third lane at the end of the second row. They finally fall back in, but there was a moment where Bollinger and Sabir were looking outside, and look, Bollinger doing it again. That 53, not content with the speed of the middle row.
Yeah, a lot of guys looking a little bit anxious right here. I mean, we are ultra close to the end of this stage, and most of these guys are round of 8 drivers who need those points. A lot of these drivers are also more willing to take the outside lane than they have been earlier in this race. You saw Walton immediately jump up there when he saw the run coming towards him, wanting to lead that lane. Kind of stalled up the line a little bit, but these guys are starting to rebuild the momentum. They'll have enough time to make something happen before the stage is over. We'll see what they can do, trying to do that side draft right there on the inside. You see, I believe that's Eric Gambrill. Yes, it is. Gambrill trying to throw those side drafts there on Walton. And then you see Applegate going to try to make the outside work, going to try to wait for that push from Walton. This is going to be a big run from that 67. Yep.
It is.
Applegate
He's going to duck in, though. That was smart because he would have got smashed so hard if he'd have stayed out there and waited for it. You mentioned Walton, though. Walton up 16 spots, currently the first car on that outside row. So Walton, a fast mover on the track right now, up 17 spots. So that's a guy got to keep an eye on. So fast is Walton, and especially here on that outside lane. That's the fella you'd love to see leading it. And he's got his delusional teammate, Plant-Smith, third car back. So lots of speed on that outside row. And look at 3 wide again by the 53.
Bollinger going to go for it. He wants those stage points. He does not want to start this round of 8 on the wrong side of the coin. And now it's like Hunter Hall is willing to join them and try to get this third lane working. Potentially the DDI drivers of Hillman and Sabir as well. Now that he's got now Bollinger ducks back down. A little bit of trickery done right there by the 53. That's going to move him forward a little bit. This is going to be the white flag right here for the stage. We will stay green, but the pay window is open. Joseph Volpes right now, right where he wants to be in second place. Those would be big points. We had 20 drivers in this race today, so the top, actually, no matter what, actually, it's the top 5 only that collect points here on MRL Premier Cup. So this is going to get intense on this last 1 or 2 miles here, Mean Gene.
Backstretch, Justin Parham in the lead, Volpes, but look at Applegate peeking up high, trying to pick up that outside lane. Walton giving him a strong push. Eric Thornton as well, outside lane with momentum. Look how close Volpes is pushing on the inside with Parham, top 5, looking at playoff points for the stage, needing it. Up there, Volpes is the only one of the top 5 who is in the playoffs. Thornton battling with Fisher, trying to get 5th. Here comes a late run.
Applegate.
Wow.
Applegate looks to have won the stage. A big move by the 14, and he immediately ducks back down to the bottom and front. Or bails on Walton, but I think Walton will happily lead that outside lane, especially with Thornton pushing him. That is a great group of drivers they have on the outside. That's Matt Novella behind Thornton right there. But now he's going to be side by side with Bollinger. Bollinger's made some aggressive moves the past few laps.
Yeah, 53 has been up and down the track, cutting, trying to move his way to the front. A little bit late of a move to get any of the stage points. Grant Applegate took the stage. 8th in points or 7th in points coming in. Gonna have Applegate's playoff advancement attempt. Thornton got 4th. Volpes got 5th. So those 3 playoff drivers all scored there at the end of the stage.
Yeah, that's big for them. And you saw a huge move by Volpis.
Oh, he's loose.
We have trouble. Daniel Splint-Smith around for the 3rd time today. Caution is out. And I think the majority of this field just dodged a bullet.
Yeah, that was wild. It looked like Plant Smith almost wrecked, got it back, and then got finished off. The 0-3-1 so fast out there, but just seems to be in a position where people don't recognize his driving style right now.
Yeah, and that's the problem with these super speedway races, is oftentimes that type of thing happens. And here is the wreck. Kevin Kyle getting knocked off the track. Plant Smith going around. Case of beer involved as well. Dalton Geyer barely escapes. But yeah, that could have been far, far worse. Me and Gene, as we're under caution.
Did he get a 0x? Did Dalton get a 0x?
I believe he did. So that might be I think it's gonna be another lap back for Dalton Geyer.
Nice.
Nice indeed.
So Geyer continuing to try to make it up. He was 5 laps down, was the recipient of the lucky dog to get to 4. Would love to see it cut down to 3. We'll just have to wait and see if he took any damage. So lap number 40, we just had the stage points awarded to the top 5. Applegate, playoff driver, won the stage. Eric Thornton took 4th, also a playoff driver, and Joe Volpis took 5th. So those were the guys looking for the points. Parham 2nd, Fisher 3rd. Also up there getting the stage points, but they are not involved in this playoff race. We're live on the Vortex Racing Network. Mean Gene Money, Zach Panzarella bringing you the first race of the round of 8. We're at Talladega. Next week, Iowa. Michigan will be the cutoff race for the round of 8. This is the shot for the drivers that are in that must-win situation. Top of the board, Bollinger, Iverson, gotta feel confident about where they are. Matt Novella, 3rd in points, but 15 behind the leader. Great lead by Bollinger. Novella did go a lap down, battled back, was a lucky dog. Now he's knee-deep in this race. Kevin Kyle, 4th in points, has shown that speed, has led a lap here today. And then this is where it gets tricky. Joe Volpis, 1 point behind Kyle for that 4th and final position. Volpis did get stage points. Eric Thornton, 2 points behind Kevin Kyle for that 4th and final spot. Eric Thornton did get points for the stage. Grant Applegate, 7. This guy said, I'm not going to get points for the stage, Zach. He said, I'm going to win the damn thing. And then Dalton Geyer was 5 laps down, now back to 3, still battling. True grit.
Doing everything you can 2 weeks in a row. Dalton Geyer never saying die. And we had a change in the lead there in the pits. Justin Parham getting the advantage over Grant Applegate. We'll have to see how that affects the restart. And we are seeing all the Fishermen in the comments right now. A lot of guys rooting for Jordan Fisher. Definitely a audience for a crowd favorite here in the MRL.
You know, Jordan Fisher does so much, not just in this league, but also with Fish Speed Racing. This guy has a Discord, shares that information. You want to get faster. This is a guy you can talk to, does private lessons. Why not reach out to this guy if you want to get a little bit faster? Hey, speaking of private lessons, have you heard about the Drive for 5? Because one of the awards for the Drive for 5 is a driving lesson with the Marconi boys.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. I've actually done one of those before, and damn, those are valuable. I mean, Gene, my goodness, you come out a faster driver, whether it be a half hour, an hour, you come out a far faster driver getting to work with those guys. They are so talented and very patient and very good at explaining things in a way that even people like you and I can understand.
Yeah, it's amazing when you get to work with guys that just have that much knowledge, because they're in a group of drivers that are talking about different things. Remember, guys, when you first started getting into the iRacing and all of that information that was going back and forth about what you're discovering and all those first baby steps that you took. These guys are still taking those steps at the highest level. So regardless of where you are in your development, driving with somebody of that level is just going to let you get a little bit faster, a little bit faster. If you're a beginner, they're going to help you get the training wheels off. If you're a pro, they're going to help you put the polishing, the final touches onto your track efforts. Speaking of final touches, how about Parham continuing to be in the front? Took the pole and continues to be up front. Grant Applegate won the stage on the front row for this restart. And then looky, Kenneth Redinger. This is a guy I'm waiting to win, was in the championship hunt just 2 years ago. And now he and Parham teammates inside row 1 and 2.
Yeah, Parham really just showing how important it is to control these races and how much of a luxury it is. He has been just exceptional all day here today, and really the best way to win these super speedway races is to control the race and stay up front, but that is so much easier said than done. We've already seen so many comers and goers here today, including guys like Tony Iverson, Colin Bollinger, guys who have ran up front for a handful of laps but not been able to maintain that track position. Justin Parham has been the exception to that rule.
Yeah, Justin just continues to find his way. He's in a hot rod, and that thing shows. You know, he's got a pistol in his pocket, and he ain't afraid to use it. And right now, he's got that number 18 Chevrolet up front. You know, a couple of guys I'm a little bit surprised about. I don't want to call them out, but that's kind of my job. I'm really wondering about the team delusional. Bolander finds himself in 13th. He was a playoff driver, but way back in 13th, the 53 of Colin Bollinger made late moves, but still found himself outside the top 5. Here we go. Parham going to bring him into the restart zone. He's your control car. Grant Applegate on the outside. Fisher Redinger in the second row. Late start. Away we go. Good jump by Parham. Going to get an advantage. Brings Fisher with him. Applegate, Fisher side by side in the second row. Redinger outside. Second car getting a good push from Eric Thornton. Joe Volpa's third car on the apron. Outside lane trying to get it together. Inside lane looks like they might have a little better shot at it, as the 6th car is Tony Iverson pulling up on Sean Walton. Zach Winstead, 4th car inside row. 6 cars inside, looking fast, and then the outside lane now getting it together. Here they come on the outside. It's Applegate, Redinger, Thornton, and here comes Hillman and that 53 of Colin Bollinger. Look at the outside lane grow.
This is the best we've seen the outside lane start a run all day today, and it really just is so obvious how important it is to just be ultra aggressive when these runs start, to make sure that the line you're in does not lose momentum. Such sketchy pushes every restart during this race, but it worked out for the outside that time. Applegate still pretty even with that inside lane, being pushed currently by Redinger, Thornton behind them, and Hillman. That is a strong group of drivers. And then you have Bollinger behind them. That is ridiculous.
Hunter Hall, the 6th car, trying to get that outside lane going. And look at Gambrill go 3 wide. He doesn't care. He's got no help and no momentum, but he's going to take it up against the walls.
And he's gone.
He's like, come with me. Nope. Not going to happen, bro.
It worked out a lot better in his head.
Well, look, now it's happening. He's got Plant Smith.
There we go. Now all his dreams are coming true. He has the guy that's been in just about every incident here today pushing him. As look at the sketchiness up front. Sean Walton, Applegate, really not able to figure it out right here. That top lane, it took an extra couple laps, but it's falling apart.
Walton side drafted the 27 of Winstead so well and then snuck right into that 4th position. Behind them, look at Iverson now going high. Wow. Look at the 6-7 of Walton. Cuts in front of Iverson. That was just to kill his momentum. That had nothing to do with making a run. What a move by 6-7.
That is gonna. Oh yeah, and you see Iverson saying, "Okay, you want pushes? I'll give you pushes." Iverson trying to really evaluate this.
Dude, that had nothing to do with momentum, like being fast.
Now
Look at Iverson, though. Get under him.
And that's honestly like if I'm Iverson in that situation,
That is
I'm
what
just
we
thinking
need
you're
to
getting
see,
pushed.
though.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see from Iverson. That's the kind of shit that would have made Iverson get mad, do something dumb, and be in a wreck. And here at Talladega, it would have been an 8-car wreck. Iverson blows it off. What does he do instead? Gets down on the apron. Walton holds his line, and we're still racing. So even though Walton did a tactical move, not a malicious move, not a stupid move, Iverson not affected. This is championship Tony Iverson.
Yeah, you could almost see him taking a deep breath through the race car as he almost went up to give a big shot to the 6-7, but thought better of it and then went back to that inside lane and completed the pass, and it's worked out for him. He's now currently in 4th. You can see Iverson wants to pick to that outside. I think he's waiting for the right pusher to make that move, but you can tell Iverson does not want to wait around. He doesn't want to be just another car on the inside. You have a great guy leading it right now, and Great Applegate being pushed by Alex Hillman. It just has not been very sustainable up there on that top line. We'll see if they can make it work this time around. Up front, it's still Fisher and Parham, who have just been doing a wonderful job controlling this pack.
You know, another guy I want to keep an eye on is that 27 of Zach Winstead. That's a driver we don't get to talk about enough. That's that 27 Red Bull car. Him and Walton have rubbed each other really hard a couple of times here. Walton has just cut down in front of him a few times. Walton being very aggressive on the track. That is what we expect. That is what we need to see from the Team Delusional member. But Winstead as well has a hot rod here today. Curious to see how many times Walton will expose that left rear quarter and Winstead will continue to tap the brakes. I don't think we're going to see that on lap number 74.
No, I totally agree. Right now, maybe it's okay. As the race goes on, as the pay window opens more and more, that type of stuff does not fly. And you don't let it slide. You fill that gap. We saw it happen in DRL. I may or may not have done it to somebody. And it
Whoops.
Yep. Oh, sorry about that. But it definitely does. It does happen, and it's going to be interesting to see when the aggression picks up. You're already starting to see kind of certain drivers in the pack. As looks like Redinger gets below the apron, and he did not intentionally do that. He wants to be back up on the racetrack.
Wow, how about Sean Walton letting him back up on the track? Walton is under no obligation to make any space, but chooses to do so here on lap 49, scheduled for 75. Walton has the awareness to let Redinger back up on the track, and we continue under green. Good move, 6-7.
I'm wondering if it was Walton who gave him the push that got him underneath the apron in the first place, and maybe Walton saying, oh man, my bad, come back on the track, let me make sure that hole is open for you. Either way, Redinger living to see another day and only losing 1 or 2 positions on track, so that certainly could have been far worse. That inside lane starting to get a little bit more simple right now. Single file about 6 cars deep all the way back to Redinger now, who is currently, sitting in 6th. So that outside lane is going to become more and more difficult to make any forward progression the more that the inside lane stays all organized and works together.
Yeah, the other question is, I know we don't talk about tires. Tires aren't a deal. We don't worry about tires. It's not an issue. But I am wondering about the inside versus the outside lane. You do need the tires to hug that apron when you got people side drafting you halfway, 3/4 of the way through the turn. And that's what we just saw right there. Only 5 cars on that outside lane battling 12 cars. But look at the creeping up of Hillman and Hunter Hall. Look right here. Watch this. All the way down, Alex Hillman doesn't side draft quite as much as he did, but coming out of this turn, watch the momentum. If Plant Smith can get up under that rear end, I think we could see that outside lane trying to battle their way back. They've only got 4 cars. We know 3 does not advance. What about 4, Zach? Is that enough?
I'd be surprised, but I think at 4 it becomes far more about the drivers specifically and who you got in that group, and I do like who they have. They have Plant Smith pushing him, as well as the 25 of Jack Sanders. So those are guys who know their way around a super speedway and have won here in the past. So that's a good group to have, and you're already seeing it a little bit on the inside. The stack-ups are starting to happen. They're feeling the pressure from the outside. They're wanting to go, and the momentum just is not building up the way they need it to, and it creates these awkward checkups. Oh boy, but there's one on the outside between Plant Smith and Hunter Hall.
Yeah, they got all the way up to about the 5th row of cars, but the little bit of a checkup throws them off. Speaking of a checkup, Dalton Geyer is now in the danger zone. He's lost the lead group. 3 laps down, but now he finds himself seconds behind the last car on the lead lap of Clausen. So Geyer gonna need a caution here to let him get a little bit of repair and let him get back up into this thing. Dalton Geyer on the bubble of danger.
Yeah, Geyer's worked so hard to get those 2 laps back. He does not want to go down another one and reverse some of that progression he's made. And we just saw it happen again with Walton moving up to that top lane to kill its run, and it worked. And that is why Alex Hillman was not able to complete that pass. We'll see what he does here to try to defend for that inside lane. I think it may be a little bit too little too late if they're able to get a good run out of here. Here he is, Hillman getting pushed by Hunter Hall, trying to work their way around the 6-7.
Yeah, Sean Walton, this is kind of where we've been about the last 6 laps, is just Hall not being able to get through the bubble of air that's there from the 6-7. Finally, he does get in front of Walton, but look at how Hall and Smith and Sanders have fallen off. Once that lane gets back together, you can just see how quickly. And now there it is, Plant Smith finally bailing on that little outside group. So now Hall and Hillman find themselves alone looking for a dance partner.
And just look how quick that kills all the momentum that line has. They had moved past Sean Walton, and now they are about 2 cars back to Walton. So really, you need that help. It looks like Applegate's going to come and try to help this group move forward. So it's still going to stay a group of 4. But really, what I was curious about, I wanted it to be 5. And there we go, as Bollinger is going to kind of try to help. He is also being followed there. It looks like that may be, who is that pushing Bollinger? That's the 24 of Bolander. So first time we've really seen Bolander try to make some forward progression in this race. Now we can start to do something up front. But mind you, as well as you see, it looks like Hillman might not want to be leading this group for too much longer. You've got to start thinking about gas here. I think a few of these guys might be trying to make it to the end, and you are not going to do that leading this race.
No, that's the unfortunate reality. He finds himself back in 8th place, but because there's no one in front of him, he's got that pedal all the way down, hoping for help. Team Delusional behind him, that's Bollinger and Bolander. They're able to just get the benefit of being pulled around in this draft, as does Applegate behind them. And now here we go, 3 wide. Why not?
Yeah, here we go towards the back of the field. It's Steve Lewis who thought about it. No help there as Kevin makes the pass. Applegate back to the bottom, the inside becoming dominant once again. They cannot seem to get consistently more than 4 cars. Bollinger, I'm sorry, going to try 3 wide. He's going to immediately go to the bottom. Everyone seeming to want to get to the bottom. I think they're thinking about fuel potentially as well here, Mean Gene.
Well, you know, fuel strategy is a way to go about this. You don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the pit window when it comes to that. So everybody single file all the way back to the last 3 rows of cars as they try to figure out who is going to get back in line. Meanwhile, top 21 cars all in a group. Then you got Dalton Geyer back there wondering, oh Lord, please, just need a little bit of help. 22 cars ahead of him, Justin Parham took the pole, still in the lead, got Jordan Fisher, and look at Joe Volpis, this sneaky dog. He finds himself in 3rd place. He's 1 partner away from making that outside move on a turn 4 on lap 75.
Yeah, he is in the catbird seat as this outside lane is going to try to get working again. Sanders being pushed by Grant Applegate. Bollinger and Bolander are going to try to help out. They quickly think other of it, and they're going to go to the inside. Just, no one wanting to commit to that outside, not wanting to lose that trap position as we get into the nitty-gritty of this race. I think things might be a little bit straightforward until these guys have to hit the pits. No one having the cojones right now to do anything about this.
19 laps to go here at Talladega. Last pitted on lap number 40. So they're going to ask these cars to go 35 laps. I just don't know if that is in the gas tank, if you know what I mean. They might be looking at a splash and go. We'll just have to see as it continues to develop. But one thing's for sure, Justin Parham definitely using more gas than the cars behind him. But that might be liberating, Zach. If you know you're going to have to pit anyway, well, you could just keep the hammer down. If you think mentally, if you've done the math and you know, yeah, everybody needs to pit one more time, you don't need to worry about conservation. What you need to do is just get on the phone with your good buddy, Kenneth Redinger, and say, hey, we're going to pit with 5 to go, splash and go, get ready.
Right. It's so much more about organization and doing it together than it is about the time on track. As here we are on board with Zach Winstead, and look to his outside. That is Colin Bollinger making a pass there, but he goes right back to the bottom, bails on Bolander up front. We see a little bit of action as it looks like Sean Walton thinking about the outside on Tony Iverson, but not able to make anything happen. All these views brought to you by the Chantilly Lace onboard camera.
Sean Walton making moves right now. You can see him right there trying to get back into the draft, the 6-7, doing his best. But wow, it's just amazing how these guys are moving forward and backward so quickly. But the team delusional driver in that 6-7 Toyota currently in 4th place. Now Gambrell going high, the privateer, got no friends, but he is in that Gulf Coast East Coast Alliance Discord, so he might have a couple of buddies, even though it's not official.
You see Gambrell just losing all his track position, trying to make the outside work, and no one following him. Kind of starting to remind me of the Clash like 3 or 4 years ago, where just nobody wanted to do anything, and you just saw a lot of these single car passes where you try to get ahead of steam, you get that run, and you get in front of a car, and then you just slide back into the inside. That's kind of what we're seeing. That's how Bollinger has started to make moves forward. He's up to 10th place, and it's been a lot of that type of move. Bollinger did the same thing to get back in front of Bollinger after he was bailed on. So that's what we're seeing right now. Really interesting. Not something you see often on this platform, much less in this league. I think a lot of these guys counting backwards, talking to their teammates, trying to figure out when the right time to pit is. Worried about that far more than they're worried about track position. But here we go. And we're coming out of lap car too.
What this is what I'm thinking. Okay, first of all, you can see it looks like Thornton.
Oh, there's Thornton going a lap down.
Yeah. Thornton going to go a lap down. He pitted on 40, so not really sure how he got off of the pace, but very painful there for the playoff
Looks
driver.
Like he's going to pit here, Mean Gene, and that might be
Zach, this is something I wonder about, okay? Like, I'm trying to make the outside lane work. Why are you content with being in 9th place on the inside?
I know.
Why are you content with being in 10th place on the inside? What are we really doing?
And you can't do anything about it with 2 to go. You got to make these moves with 15 to go. As you see Dalton Geyer, unfortunately for him, another one of our playoff drivers going a lap down. Keeping your eye on Eric Thornton as well, and Thornton has parked it, so Thornton out of the race. Another playoff driver runs into misfortune here at Talladega. That is going to be massive for the standings. We'll have to see how this thing finishes off, as Walton is stuck outside, as Redinger is to his inside. Walton might, just barely slips back in front of Plant Smith. That's going to save Walton right there, but that might check up the inside a little bit. You see right there, Jack Sanders saw the writing on the wall. He's going to go to the outside. I'm sorry, that's Bollinger saw the writing on the wall, and he's followed by Bollinger and Tony Iverson. Iverson we saw go to the outside as well. He lost a ton of track position with that move.
Yeah, really unfortunate. It looks like Thornton had a blink.
Ooh, that's brutal. What a horrible way.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Thornton on lap 52. Everything's fine. He's coming out of 2 onto the backstretch on lap 52. Everything is fine. Yeah, everything looks good. And then all of a sudden he just blinked out.
That's so unfortunate.
Wow.
So Geyer and Thornton, both victims of connection issues here today. But they might not be victims of what's about to happen here. 13 to go as we cross the start-finish line right here. Pay window very much open. I mean, I don't want to speculate too much here, Mean Gene. I don't think anyone here has enough fuel to make it here. So what you got to make sure you're doing here is don't put in more fuel than you need to, right? Make sure this is a very short pit stop. No tires, only fuel, and not a full tank. As little as you need.
This is where it gets tricky, because you're trying to hit all these buttons on your wheel, or if you're using a mouse, and you're freaking too wide at 190 miles an hour. When do you have the opportunity to click buttons and then go down and do the math. Very difficult. This is where a spotter like Chris Lewis comes in to effect. You remember, Jordan Fisher got Chris Lewis working with him. You know, somebody like Chris can do the math, let you do your job behind the wheel, and then he can say, hey, make it 9 gallons. That's what we need. Or let you make the decision. How many green, white checkers do you think we're going to have?
Right.
Okay, then you need this amount of fuel to make it to the end. And that is really a great advantage. I know for my sake, I've been doing this long enough that the math is just easy. You know, I can keep my shoes on, not a problem. But a lot of people with less than 10,000 hours, this might be a problem.
Yeah, and it's really, you don't get the chance to comfortably change your adjustments for the pits. You just got to figure it out while going 190 in a really, really tight pack, because everyone else is going to as well, unless you're Jordan Fisher with the live spotter. So these guys are going to have to figure that out. I think it's going to be somewhere around 3 to 5 gallons. Me personally, Mean Gene, I like to put in enough to finish the race plus 1 overtime, and I'll figure it out from there. If I can't win the race off that, then that's a me problem. So we'll see what these guys elect to do. I think what you're going to want to do is run this as late as you can to try to make it as short of a pit stop as you can, right? The more or the less laps you have to run, the less fuel you need to put in it. But I think these guys might come in a big group towards the end of this race. I think they might be honestly hoping for a caution, but these guys have been doing a great job so far. The outside lane is starting to show some strength. Sean Walton almost got the lead, and here comes Alex Hillman. Looks like Hillman's going to bring in the pits this time. I think he may be alone, though. Yeah, he's going to have one guy helping him.
I don't know. There's 4 cars broke off and were in their own group behind there.
All the GDI drivers.
Look at that. Gambrell, Hall, Sanders, and Novella. They're also coming in as well. I wonder if these 6 cars will all get together. If so, that means Hillman and Quesabir will have to slow their progress a great deal. But those other 4 cars that came in with them, Hall, Hillman, Novella, Gambrell, Beverly, they were all off the pace. Oh, no, look at that. Looks like Beverly might have left 4 tires on.
Yeah, actually, Beverly looks to have quite a bit of damage looking at that fix. And here comes the rest of the pack, Mean Gene. Here we go. This is going to be sketch. These guys are coming in way too hot. They're way too hot.
Looks good. No,
it's okay.
It's okay. Tell the steward to mind his own damn business.
I don't think he's gonna, Mean Gene. I don't think he's gonna. That might be it for our dominant driver here today. We'll have to see what the NASCAR gods decide, as Jordan Fisher got it in pretty smooth from what we could see. It was too fast all along. I think a lot of people just followed the commander off the cliff here. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this group is pitting this time around. It's gonna be these 4 guys. They are all working together. We know that.
Delusional.
Yep, and you called them out.
Delusional. Look at them. Look
Here
at
they
them.
are with their chance to get this done. They got to make this clean, though, Mean Gene. This is going to be the pit stop of the season for these 4. They got to work together. They got to know where everyone's going to be, and they can't make contact, and they can't speed. Here we go.
This is exactly what the 53 needed. He needed his boys to show up and show out, and that's what they're doing right now. Good slowdown. Just look at the coordination. They look like the damn Blue Angels.
Brilliant. But Mean Gene, look who is still in the pits serving a speeding penalty. Justin Parham has been in there for over a minute now.
That's not what Parham needed. Parham took the pole, led more laps than anyone else, and now finds himself in the pit stall, getting a little bit of a penalty. Meanwhile, Team Delusional rolling, coming out. Sean Walton looks like he's going to be the leader of the 4. He did come in first. Daniel Smith, then Bollinger, Bolander. They need to push the 53, but here comes that pack. Gonna catch them easy.
Oh, they're going to leave them in the dust. Only Walton might be able to do something about this. We'll see how much he wants to push the envelope. It's going to be Jordan Fisher with Grant Applegate leading the group. Walton coming out of the pits. He can now rejoin the track. What's he going to do about this? Walton just really nothing he can do. Whoa, boy.
I thought 6-7 was just going to come up and give him the peace sign minus the pointer finger.
Me too. I thought it was about to come about 6 or 7 lanes right there. Thought better of it, and that was what these guys needed. Mind you, there will be a head of steam eventually when that group catches Walton. They're going to have to do a lot with that run. We'll have to see what happens here. Or can Walton catch the draft of the group in front of him? It looks like he actually can.
He's so close. Sean Walton, this is a guy chasing trophies. We've seen him win. We saw him win a championship in the six-pack, Zach. Remember, between season 4 and 5, we had the six-pack here in Monday Night Mayhem, and Sean Walton was the champion. He won 2 races during that stretch as well. Back into the pack. Dean Delusional ain't out of it yet. Main group, though, Fisher, Applegate, Redinger, Vulpes, Kyle. So you got 3 playoff drivers right there. All of them would love to punch a ticket. Applegate's on the outside looking in. He's 7th in points. Vulpes, 5th in points. 2 back. Kyle, 4th in points. So that lead group right there of 6 drivers, 3 of them desperate for a win.
Yeah, and you'd have to think that these 3 drivers, one, they definitely know each other. They know how to race with one another. And 2, they're probably going to try to keep this pretty calm, cool, and collect until we see the white flag. They know that they have a great point stay in front of them, if not a win. And they also have the group of Bollinger, Iverson, and Bolander behind them to where they can't catch them. The lap last time around was slightly slower, and they are 3 seconds behind, so it's done for them. You see Kevin Kyle thinking about the outside there, seeing if Sean Walton will follow him, and he will. Here we go, Walton and Kyle. What do I know?
Oh, these 2 guys, they love each other. Contact. Kyle gets loose, goes up high, has momentum, should be able to fall back in line, but that's going to hurt him. And speaking of momentum, look at the driver they're about to catch. They're about to catch Justin Parham. Parham should be able to catch on to this group, and Parham is a teammate of Kenneth Redinger. And every time I think of Kenneth Redinger, I think of that Roy Jones Jr. song, Y'all Must Have Forgot. Because this guy is effing
Here we go.
fast.
Look at the speed difference, though, Mangy. This might be hard for Parham. He's going to get out of the way and likely try to rejoin this group like you anticipated. Or is that... Oh, it's like Kevin Kyle tried to get a little bit of a draft of him and just the run wasn't there. Parham a little bit off the pace, having to run there all by himself. He's going to try to get there. He may end up bridging the gap between the 2 groups.
Come on, Justin, get in there.
I mean, I think what could be interesting here too, Mean Gene, is if Bollinger can latch onto Parham somehow. He may not be able to. That could have bridged the gap. I don't think it's going to. This group up front still doing what they need to. Kevin Kyle desperate to find any way around to find his way to the front of it, but it just is not meant to be right now. Everyone content on the inside lane, being led by Jordan Fisher and Grant Applegate.
How about that second group? Tony Iverson, He's in the middle of Team Delusional. He's got the 53 in front of him. He's probably like, hey, buddy, we're good. We're good. All those times we wrecked each other, I wrecked you. We're friends. Look how close Bolander's up. We're good. We're friends. Why can't we be friends? Why?
You know Iverson loves being an 8th, and he certainly loves who he gets the race around right now, just having the best time.
Oh my Lord!
Whoa.
He's like, hey, ignore my paint scheme. That 50, it's a different 53 I'm eating.
Exactly, it's a different flavor of Dr. Pepper. As just look at these pushes that Walton is giving Redinger. These are some aggressive pushes, but I think that's what it's going to take to make any forward progression. They want to have a chance against Applegate and Fisher. I think they're trying to time it right. Oh boy, here they go.
And Dalton Geyer, lapped car, going to go below the apron, does not want that smoke. Good awareness there by Geyer in the 36 Chevrolet. Up front, though, 5 guys on that inside lane. Kevin Kyle looks up high and not going to get any help, though, from the... Oh, we might. Here we go. Kevin Kyle throwing it to the wind. He's going to risk it all.
He'll take this from Parham, and I think he's assuming someone else will come follow him. It's worth the risk, I think, if you're Kevin Kyle right here. It is 2 to go here.
2 laps.
Then there goes Walton.
Yes, Walton and Kevin Kyle, the best of friends, almost as good as Iverson and Colin Bollinger. Up front, Jordan Fisher continues to lead this late race here down the backstretch. Grant Applegate, 7th in points, needs the win. Joe Vulpes, he's that 4th car, got his reputation of streaks on the line. 6 guys all battling. We're about to come around and take that white flag.
Here we go. They're trying to make it work on the outside. It's worth the risk. It's being led by Sean Walton, and here comes that forward movement. It's being pushed by Kevin Kyle and Parham. We'll see if they make it 3 wide on Walton here, or if Walton's willing to push this group forward, and they're going to have a run here to do something about that group of Fisher and Applegate. And in the catbird seat, you do have Redinger and Volpus. Any of these 6 can win, and anyone in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th is not out of the question either.
Fisher and Applegate, they are in Discord communicating. Sean Walton on his own in this group. Redinger, Parham, they are communicating. Volpus by himself, Kyle by himself. Kevin Kyle, Sean Walton, best of friends on the outside. Justin Parham trying to give him that push. Going down the back stretch, it's Fisher now with the speed, but looking up high, it's Kenneth Redinger. Redinger pulls ahead of Walton. 4 cars. No, Kevin Kyle says, I'll go 3 wide. They're wrecking Jordan Fisher.
Fisher gets it done. Super Speedway.
Jordan Fisher, 5th win of the year. Jordan Fisher not going to go to the playoffs because he's in a part-time work situation, but now becomes the season leader of wins with that 5th win here at Talladega. Joe Volpus gonna bring it home in 2nd. Volpus's streak is broken, but boy, was he close. And Sean Walton, 6-7, bringing it home on the podium. Wow, wow, wow.
Absolute insanity to end this race here. As Jordan Fisher, it doesn't matter what shape the track is. It doesn't matter if you're turning right or left. He is the cream of the crop, and he is as good as it gets. Jordan Fisher has won on every type of racetrack here in the MRL Premier Cup Series this season. What a season. He may not be racing for a championship, but he has enough trophies to convince him otherwise.
And this is what you wanted to do. I said at the beginning of the race, let's keep an eye on what Colin and Jordan can do as far as victories. And there it is, Fisher picking up his 5th win, doing the donuts. This ain't Dunkin' Donuts, and this ain't Krispy Kreme. This is Jordan Fisher making the mean.
Jordan Fisher collects the win here in the MRL. He is not, like we said, he is not a playoff driver, so he is not going to punch any tickets right now. But what that also does is it prevents other drivers from moving on. But Volpus, 2 rounds in a row, doing what he has to do in race 1. He's going to come home in 2nd place, Mean Gene. That is massive for the 11 driver of Joseph Volpus.
You know, Joe Volpus has really turned it on the last 5 races. He got his 1st win at Texas in the round of 12, and we've just seen him continue to get more and more aggressive. I'm not sure what he does at Iowa, but at Michigan, he is a threat to win there as well. And then Kentucky, he runs fast there. Joe Volpus, this is a guy you're going to have to pay attention to. This is a guy knocking on the door. Not sure how the race ended there. I see Redinger in 4th. I see Kyle in 5th. I really thought that outside lane was going to work. We saw Redinger get in front of Sean Walton briefly. I thought Redinger had that momentum. I'm not really sure how that ended, but what are you going to do?
Talladega.
It's super speedway racing. Yeah, right at the end. But Redinger still going to be credited coming home in 4th place. Kevin Kyle going to bring it home in 5th. Remember, Kyle is 4th in points, so this is something that he needed. Grant Applegate going to make it into 6th. That guy needs a better finish. We'll see at Iowa what he can do. Tony Iverson, 2nd in points coming into today. Going to finish here in 7th. Colin Bollinger, our points leader, with a good points lead. Going to come home in 8th. No stage points, though, for Colin. Delusional teammates, Bolander 9, Daniel Plant Smith in 10th. So not sure we're going to get the points to you as soon as we can, but kind of a rough day for those last 2 drivers. Roughest days of all, though. Eric Thornton disconnecting, gonna end up coming home in 22nd. Painful. Dalton Geyer gonna come home in 21st. That's gonna leave a mark. Those two guys right there really in a must-win next week at Iowa.
Yeah, some brutal situations for some really, really strong drivers here in these playoffs. And it really just, I mean, that's what Talladega, you know it's going to do that, especially when you throw it in the round of 8. And whether you put it as the last race or the first race, Talladega is going to flip everything upside down, and it did not disappoint today. It's going to be a completely different picture when we get to Iowa next week.
Yeah, there's just no room for error. It's unfortunate, and you could have, 4 wins on the season, like Colin does at the moment, but come in, especially in a field of 20, 23, 24, 25 guys, and you have a bad finish, and you suddenly find yourself in an entire world of hurt. So here it is, updated points. You can see Bollinger gonna hold on to that lead, but it's just to 10 with Tony Iverson chasing him down. Joe Volpa's going to move up 2 spots into that 3rd position. Matt Novella drops, but gonna remain on the line. 3 points behind him. There's Kevin Kyle. Kevin Kyle 3 points away from advancing to the championship 4. Grant Applegate, he's going to move up a point, but still 5 points behind Matt Novella. And here's the guy that you really have to feel the pain is Eric Thornton. Disconnect. He was up at the front most of the day, disconnects, drops a point, and now suddenly finds himself 23 points out of the cutoff line. Eric Thornton, rough day with the disconnect. And then Dalton Geyer, came in 8th, still in 8th, must-win situation for him at Iowa and Michigan. So you quickly see, especially Thornton and Geyer, one bad race forces them into that desperation mode.
Yeah, exactly. It really just is all it takes to be in a must-win situation, which is absolutely what you see the 1 and the 36 of Thornton and Geyer, respectively, in right there. Really what's saving Grant Applegate beyond just his consistency is those stage wins, Mean Gene. The only guy in these playoffs that also has 3 stage wins is Grant Applegate, and that includes today. He got that stage win done today. That is huge for that driver as he continues his pursuit to make that championship race.
Yeah, Grant Applegate. This is a guy, we knock it on the door. I mentioned Kevin Kyle early on as a guy that I thought would have a great shot here today, but Grant has a shot on all the tracks. And I think next week at Iowa, we're just going to see one thing's for sure. Fish Speed Racing Discord is going to be lighting up this week as those boys get ready to show down at Iowa next week. 2 elimination races remaining. Iowa and Michigan over the next 2 weeks. And then it all comes to culmination December 22nd. The championship of season 5 will be at Kentucky. Who will be the 4 drivers? With the win today by Fisher, 5 wins on the season, that leaves all 4 positions open in the chase. Colin has to feel good with that 10-point lead over Iverson. But 21 points back is 19 points back is Kevin Kyle. And if you get wrecked early and you come home in 25th, 26th position at Iowa, you could be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, that's all it takes. We saw it today with that Thornton and Geyer, how brutal that could be and just how far down that puts you. And that same thing can happen to someone like Bollinger. They are not vulnerable to that, or they are not inevitable to that. It can absolutely happen to them.
Yeah, nobody's immune, especially with 2 races to go.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
All right, so bonus interview.
Jeez. I don't know.
Who's it gonna be?
Applegate?
Applegate.
He always wants an interview.
Applegate. All right, let me look up there. There he is. He's by himself. He's all alone.
All by himself.
I don't think he knows what's happening. There we go. Let's see if he's there.
Hey, Grant, we got you, my man?
Apparently.
Hey, got him. Hey, I mean, you've been in the booth just waiting the past couple of weeks, so we figured it'd be the right thing to do to get you up in here after you put on such a good show. You got the stage win here today as well. Things definitely looking up for you. You're in the round of 8. You're still on the outside looking in terms of points. What was today like? What was the goal today, I guess, besides parking that 14 in victory lane? And how do you score this day overall for you?
Other than the last 700 yards, it was exactly what I wanted to do. So I won the stage, and I think Vulpes was the only other stage guy or playoff guy to get stage points. So that was good. That's from what I remember. And then, yep, I just was pushing Fisher, and the outside lane kind of got closed off, so I couldn't move up to do anything there. So I was just going to settle for second place. Maybe hit Fisher hard enough that he gets loose or something, and something stupid happens. But I was happy finishing second, and then I didn't finish second, and I was mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, How many times has someone said, "Oh man, that race went so good," until there was about a football field's distance left? I mean, just ask Patrick Cowgill over in the Thursday night MRL. He led this thing until about 100 feet left and got turned. The Talladega is a brutal place. Now we move on to Iowa. What is your outlook for a track like Iowa? Are you excited to be away from a track like this into summer like that? And how do you feel about that one?
I kind of show up to every race feeling about the same, to be completely honest. There's like 5 tracks that I really like, and none of them are on the schedule. So just kind of I'll practice a little bit. I've had good luck at Iowa. I don't really know that I'm the fastest person, but it's with the repave and stuff, it's kind of like super hard to pass because there's literally only 2 lanes to drive in now, because the outside might as well be dirt.
Yep.
It's just pointless. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that, but it's a flat track. I'm usually pretty good at those. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I could not agree more, man. It's like when they fix that track, they're like, "Oh, you want us to fix the bump? Okay, we'll fix the bump on the entrance of 1, but we're going to ruin everything else about that track." Yeah, good job, guys. Couldn't agree more, man. But yeah, it's going to be a fun race. I mean, one thing that we know is going to put on a good show, because, yeah, that is not an easy track to drive at by any means anymore. But great job today. Congrats on the stage win. Still coming home with another top 5, so another good finish for that 14 car. Any shouts you want to give before we let you out of here?
Unfortunately, I think it was a 6th, not a 5.
Was it?
I think Kyle beat me by like thousandths of a second.
I have you beating him, but we'll see.
My end, it's got Kyle beat me by
Okay.
9 thousandths of a second. So,
Well, congrats to Kevin.
I mean,
Happy.
if they take your results, I'll be happy. But no, just again, everybody who shows up. I mean, we had 2 cautions in a 75 lap race with 24 cars. So
Sure.
yeah, that's pretty good for a plate race, and everybody puts on a show. And Fisher, Thornton, and Iverson, I had somebody to talk to for once, and we had some strategy stuff going on. So appreciate them for letting me stick around and have somebody to talk to and figure out strategy stuff, because obviously there at the end it worked out pretty well. I think Tony got loose trying to leave pit road, otherwise he would have been up there with us, and I may have not got wrecked, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, just appreciate those guys for having me around, to not being dead silent the whole time. And just y'all for putting on the show, as always.
Thank you, Grant. Great job today, man, and best of luck on the rest of this round of 8. Hope you can park that 14 in victory lane where it belongs, and hope to see you in the championship race. Good job, man.
Man, I hope so too, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, it seems like I finished 2nd through 6th. It doesn't matter.
Hey, I always say,
do.
if you do that enough times, you'll be first eventually. It just has to happen. But hey, I know what that feels like all too well, my friend.
Nothing has to happen. Let's start there.
All right, Grant. Well, I'm going to give you all types of crap when you do win. But good luck, my man.
I mean, I'll take it if I win. But yeah, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You too, man. I know what that feels like.
Grant Applegate battling. Yeah, it's so funny, because I've had buddies before say that they're waiting for their first win, and then I've got spun coming out of 4, and then they win. And
Yep.
I'm like, well, I'm happy for you that you won, but I don't want to talk about me getting spun, and that's why you got the dub.
Exactly. It seems like you have to go through 5 or 10 of those before you finally get yours.
Yeah, it's inevitable. That guy, Grant, is just so fast. We've seen him in the second half so quick. And just the lack of starts is what has put him behind the 8 ball more than anything else. But he does move up one position and now finds himself just 5 points behind Matt Novella, gonna go into Iowa next week. Now, hey, let's switch gears, though. Let's talk about a non-playoff driver. And this is my boy. Hey, y'all know it. I don't hide it. This is Sean Walton gonna bring it home in third. Sean Walton, Mean Gene in the booth. Can you hear me, my friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. What's up, man? On that podium, how you feel?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, you 6'7" to me, man. Come on now. You look good out there today. I think if that outside lane would have got it together half a lap earlier, we might have been talking about a different position.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. It's just, this is an update that they did with the draft package. You can't side draft at all anymore. That's all I was trying to do. Just pull the 14 back off of Jordan's bumper, but it just didn't work, and I gave Kyle all the credit trying to push the little crap out of me, but it just wasn't working for me to get past him. And it just got chaotic there. The trial, I don't know how I made it out. But yeah, podium. Yeah.
Well, you definitely had one of the quicker cars, especially on the outside lane. Like you just said, side drafting wasn't working the way that we've typically seen it work, the ability to pull up. And I think that's just a testament to the ability of the drivers that were trying it. You're one of the guys that we saw when you were on the outside. We knew where we were going to get a good run coming out of that thing. You'd side draft, and then you'd move to that outside to make it open. You guys are going for the win. We've heard Colin say this many times. Going to make a reference to Team Delusional here. What was going on with the rest of the team? Is this just your track, or were those guys caught up in some on-track stuff that was beyond their control?
Are you talking about on the pit stop, the last pit stop, or just in general? That was my fault. They needed less fuel than me, so they wanted. I guess what happened was I went to pit. My auto fuel said 5.5 gallons. Theirs said like 3.6 or something. And I told them, I was like, I need 5.5 to be able to make it. And they put it on 5.5, and I guess I only needed like 3 laps to be able to make it, or 3 gallons to be able to make it. And it put me in front of them where I'd be able to catch the pack, and they fell back, which I feel absolutely horrible about. I was getting chewed out in chat. I deserved it. That's all I can say. I really deserved getting chewed out there. But we ought to try to stay patient. But I know Plant was caught up in a couple wrecks. Colin, I think he got caught up in one. Andrew caught up in one. Dylan was here. He got killed in one. I was really the only one that stayed out of everything, which put me in the position to have a chance at the win. But yeah, it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to.
Well, really unfortunate. I appreciate you sharing that with us about the fuel and the gallons. That's not something that we are privy to. And yeah, very, very unfortunate the way that went down. But you were in that group of 6 battling for the win. Now, I got to ask you, Kenneth Redinger came up high in front of you. You had a ton of momentum, and then the camera angle changed. What, did you make contact with him? Did he spin? Did he lose control? How exactly did that last sequence go?
Well, he moved up in front of me. I pushed him for like 200 feet. And then I knew if I didn't make a move, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I wouldn't have a chance to win or anything. So I went to the inside, because the outside, there was someone to my outside. I had nowhere to go. So there was a little gap in the middle there to where I could make it 3 wide. I guess, I don't know if it was neck or wag. I might have clipped his left rear. I don't know. I'll have to watch that back. But yeah, that's what happened there. I mean, that's just super speedway racing, but yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Hey, between you and me, you would have been talking to us because we get a bonus interview no matter what. Because
Nice.
you had a hell of a day, my friend. You were definitely the flag carrier for Delusional today. You and Colin both making amazing moves, leaving space. I saw y'all also work with Tony Iverson. I know Iverson doesn't exactly have gold bar status with Team Delusional, but all of those things aside, the teamwork that you guys all had together within your team as well as without just absolutely permeates maturity and championship caliber. And that's what we saw today from the 6-7 of Sean Walton. Sean, anybody you want to give a shout out to here today?
Yeah, shout out to you guys from those broadcasts. Shout out to John, everyone at Moonlight for putting on these races. Colin, Plant, Andrew, Dylan, all Team Delusional. Yeah, that's about it. Shout out to Jordan.
Hell yeah.
Win.
It was an exciting race. Thank you for being part of it, Sean. Sean Walton going to take home a third today. So close. But, man, there's a lot of fast dudes out there. Sean, go have yourself a nice cold beverage, my friend. You earned it.
Way to put on a show, Sean. Don't beat yourself up for that mistake. That happens to everybody.
I'll tell you what, though. It is a sign of maturity that he shared what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's
definitely an honest mistake that happens to everybody at some point. It's so many other things we talked about. When do you figure out those pit adjustments? You don't. You have about a millisecond at a time to try to look at that stuff, and it's happened to me. I mean, the race before today at a track like this, I forgot to switch off my tires and did a very similar mistake.
Yep, it happens so quick. There's nothing that you can do, and taking accountability for it right there immediately is just a sign of maturity and the strength of that team and of those guys all together. So they're going to be back. Colin still has the lead in the points, and I expect him to run strong at Iowa next week. Let's go on, though, to our second place finisher. Let's zap him right up in there. I think I got him for you.
Joseph Volpus, we got you, my friend.
Yeah, you do.
How's it going, my man? What a run by you. We had you circled on our, on our driver's sheet all day today. So much recent success here at Super Speedways in this league specifically. How were you feeling going in today? And is this a disappointment coming in second place, not punching that ticket quite yet to the championship 4, or is that second place what you were looking for and now putting yourself in the round of 4 right now if the playoffs were to end today?
Yeah, so the strategy was pretty much looking at the field count. Didn't really make sense to try and do anything too conservative at the start. Try and qualify well. I think I started 5th, so good starting spot. Of course, leads to having good track position for most of the race. Worked really well with Parham and Jordan and those boys for most of the race. Actually, we were pretty much nose to tail. I know I was pushing Justin for a while. Justin was pushing me for a few laps, and then I was pushing Jordan and Justin for pretty much, I'd say, most of the race. I was running third with them. Just kind of biding my time, waiting to see how the race played out. And that last pit stop there, the green flag pit stop, just kind of really shook everything up and kind of changed the whole complexion because there was only a few of us that were up front. So, there at the end, I honestly thought Grant was going to try and go for the win, at least with a couple to go or on the last lap or something, to lock himself in. And I figured just staying on the bottom was going to be the best bet to get the best finish I could if I couldn't win. And Grant never made a move, and then I don't know what happened in front of me, but there were cars spinning one direction, the other direction. It kind of reminded me of a race that I won here once in Xfinity, where cars were spinning all over the place in front of me, and there was nobody. This case, though, Jordan was in front of all of that, and I couldn't get around him. But so it's kind of bittersweet, finishing second, sucks in the sense of finishing second, but I finished second to somebody that wasn't a playoff driver since Jordan so graciously dropped out since he was going to miss some races. So finished second to, it didn't really affect, my main goal coming into this race was to be above the cut line coming out of it. And I did what I wanted to because my goal is to point my way in. Because I know, like, today was a crapshoot. Talladega's a crapshoot. So you can't really, you could game plan all you want, but you can't really figure out what's going to happen. Even at the end of the race, like, you could get wrecked on the last lap. Could have been running in 5th there. I could have ended up reared into the outside wall and finished 20th. So finishing in 2nd is, I mean, it's good. It's good because now I'm above the cut line, and looking ahead at the next 2 tracks, I feel pretty good. I wouldn't say great. I'd say pretty good, just because of tire saving, and I know Michigan's a bit of another wild card. Pretty good about staying above where I'm at right now.
Nice. I mean, you should. I mean, yeah, this has been a really good points season for you, for sure. You've definitely visited victory lane. You did so in the round of 12. Came ultra close here today. And kind of just answer my next question there about what the priorities are going forward. And I guess I could ask you, I mean, I think I know the answer, but there is that new configuration. It's completely turned the track on its head. Are you more looking forward to Iowa or Michigan?
Yeah, so I wish that the configuration never changed at Iowa because you can go back and look at previous trips here, and I'm a completely different driver when it comes to new Iowa versus old Iowa, and it's not been for the better. Still need to figure out how to save tires properly, especially with the Cup car. I feel like I'm getting close with the truck to being, on race-winning pace again, but the Cup car, I need to figure something out in this next week if I want to be on race-winning pace. Like, I'm used to being at old Iowa. I'm kind of afraid that the same thing's going to happen with new Rockingham when it comes out, and I'm going to be really sad. But I'm gonna think about that in the future. Right now, just focusing on seeing what I could do next week at Iowa. And Michigan is another track. Ironically, both of them are tracks that I've won at in the past, but it's been a while. Just new configuration for Iowa has me a little spooked, but my pace in the Bonfire Cup race there has me feeling confident enough to where if I can just not beat the hell out of the right front tire, that I can compete for the win or hopefully finish in the top 3 or 4, and that'll be good points-wise.
Yeah, you and me both when it comes to the Rock, my friend. I mean, gosh, if that happens, then that's why we're admins, right? We can just put the legacy track on our schedule. But I'm hoping for the same thing because, I'm not a big fan of New Iowa either. We were just talking about that with Grant. But awesome job today, Joseph. Another great finish from you, doing what you have to do to race for a championship again here in MRL. Can't wait to be back in the booth with you tomorrow, personally, over at BRL here on BRN. So stoked for that. But any shout-outs you want to give before we let you out of here?
Let me see. So, great job by everybody in the chat. We kind of lost a couple along the way there. I know John got taken out fairly early in the race, unfortunately. Shout out to him for trooping it out, staying in, being the admin of the series. It's always good when the admin sticks around to the end of the race.
Oh yeah.
In case there's any sort of problems. So that was a big positive. For at least him to be around, if not for moral support, for admin support. That's always good. So, of course, greatly appreciated on that end. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody else that was in the chat with us today. I thought we had a really good strategy. It's just, that green flag pit stop just didn't work out for us, where I was the only one out of us that was in the lead group, unfortunately. And it's a shame because I feel like, Novella and I, we're not usually hooked up together a lot on super speedways, but when we do, we're able to do a lot together and get to the front very fast. And we just can never find a way to where we're in the same spot at the same time for it to actually work out in our favor, unfortunately. I do feel like if I had him in the lead group with us, one of us would have won. So, shame on that. But shout out to them for wherever. I know Novella got a decent finish. He's still in the top 4, so shout out to him. And everybody else that was in the chat with us. And shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. And let's go get it tomorrow night. Looking forward to Kentucky. Start the now Dennis Puckett Big Truckin' Tuesday Season 13.
Yes, sir. Cannot wait. Congrats on the finish tonight, Joseph. And good luck tomorrow. And I'll see you in the booth, my friend.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Joe Volpis continuing that assault that he's had the last few races, won in the first round of the round of 12 at Texas, and then continues to just put podium on top of podium, moves up 2 spots into number 3 in this championship run for the Final Four. And that's a guy, he didn't want to say it, but he's got a lot of experience at Michigan. And I think if he dials in Iowa, that's a guy that could either point his way in or we might see him on that podium.
Yeah, and at Iowa, all he really has to do is connect the dots and dot the I's, because he was the guy there before the reconfiguration. So, I mean, I know they changed it. I know it's quite a different track now, but the DNA is still there. And once Volpis figures that out, he's going to be dangerous there.
Yeah, but he can't FAFO.
No,
because he's got Novella 2 points behind him, Kyle 3, Applegate, who is a threat to win, I think, both the next 2 races, and then Eric Thornton that's been just knocking on that door. Thornton wouldn't be where he is if it weren't for that DC. So if Thornton wins, that pushes you down. Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, what's Applegate going to do? What's Kevin Kyle going to do? What's Matt Novella going to do? All those drivers. So there's still a lot of work to be done for a Joe Volpis. But as he said, you got to like the schedule as he moves forward into Iowa next week. And yeah, I also looking forward to Big Truckin' Tuesday, going to kick off next week, the Dennis Puckett Memorial.
Is it this week or next week? It's tomorrow.
I want to say it's tomorrow, man.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. You said next week.
Yeah.
It is tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna start that shiz tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Let's go on and talk to tonight's winner, picking up his 1, 2, 3, 4
5-time
win. Five-time this year. Jordan Fisher, man. Mean Gene Money, Zach Panzarella up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Look at you. Looky. We got hooky. We talked about you and Colin. How many wins could we get by the end of the year? You take that advantage 5-4. How did today feel on such a chaotic track?
I mean, I definitely felt like I had a lot of speed out there. I was able to definitely control being out front. There was only one time I kind of slipped towards the back, but then I was able to kind of slingshot myself back up front. So just kind of, being in the right spot for that pit stop was kind of all that really mattered. So it was just being prepared for that. It was the money stop.
The money stop. And there were 6 guys in that group. Y'all picked up Justin Parham there at the end, but battling for that win at the end. You had to feel the heat, especially. How about the wild card 6-7 Sean Walton finished in 3rd? He seemed to be the guy that could make that outside work the most. Were you worried about that outside lane? And if so, what drivers were you looking at?
Yeah, 67 was definitely a guy I was watching out for. He was definitely a guy that we saw on the outside all night long. And I mean, the thing is, if you can get 3 good pushers on the outside line, you can make it work. But if there's any sort of gap on the outside line, it's not really going to work. The inside's just going to freight train straight ahead. But there's a few guys that was able to actually make it work, where they can be able to, say they're running 8th and they make a little line of 3 and get yourself up to the front to the top 3. So that was the way of obviously making your way up front and controlling that. But ultimately, like I said, it's just being ready for the money stop at the end of the day. So
yeah, super exciting race to watch. We knew there was going to be that one more pit stop, and you came in with that group and just nailed it. So smooth, especially coming down from that speed to hit that pit speed lane speed of 55. So 5 wins on the year. I've done some math. If you had said, I just want to be in the playoffs, you won in the round of 12, you win in the round of 8. What does your schedule look like moving forward?
I have no idea. It's been kind of all over the place with my work schedule, so that's kind of why I'm back once again for a little one-off race. But right now, it's not really becoming a one-off. I've been here the last several weeks, so yeah, I've had the thought of like, you know, if I would have stayed in the whole playoff format and all that, but at the end of the day, you know, is what it is, and I can't get too caught up over it, but you know, just winning the races is more than enough for me. So it's awesome running with like the competition out there. Everybody out there is so respectful and good race. I mean, it's just good racing. Like obviously we've had incidents happen throughout the season and so on, but like I mean, when you think about it, the racing and moves have been just awesome. You know, I've had a lot of fun running here. So.
We definitely had a lot of fun watching you, and also just the addition of Fish Speed as well, giving drivers the opportunity to run that data, to have that different perspective and that learning opportunity. But being who I am, I'm just gonna say, if you show up and win Kentucky, I'm gonna do a live stream and have you put that asterisk over whoever gets that second place.
Oh no.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing. I am going to ask you a favor after busting your balls, though, Jordan. Right now, I see we got Aaron, we got Bill, we got Evan online, but you know what? I only got 2 likes, so I'm gonna ask you, please get your friends, like the stream. I know they're enjoying watching it, especially when you pull in the dub and bringing home checkered flag. Anybody you want to give a big shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank all my family and friends for watching. Everybody at Fish Speed, you know, continuing trying to build community with getting everybody faster in the next gen. I love this thing. I run it very, very much so, and you know, I want to help out people out there, people that, you know, enjoy running the next gen, open or fixed. So, you know, show me a message if you're interested in joining Fish Speed. I want to thank Chris Lewis. We actually debuted a brand new livery out there, Superior Repairs Mobile Reconditioning. They just sponsored TI Racing, so it was really awesome. They're kind of around that black and red scheme tonight with the red rims. That was really popping tonight. So with the debut, first time with the livery, it was awesome to park it in victory lane. I did not expect it to be Dega, but you know, we will absolutely take those wins. And you guys, the broadcast, all the admins, continuing to put all the great races throughout over the season. So yeah, buddy.
Nice. Now, what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an iRacer, especially if you're affiliated with the DDI Racing League, with the Bonfire Racing League, with Moonlight Racing League, we're all in this together under the Vortex Racing Network. So take that opportunity, reach out to Jordan, get involved in this Discord. They're sharing the times, run the ghost laps. That data is there for you to get faster. We've seen the results. We've seen the drivers who do participate get faster. So this is just another opportunity. We talked about the Drive for 5 that the Vortex Racing Network is going to do on Valentine's Day. Full-length Daytona race. One of the awards is the Marconi gift certificate for the free driving lesson. But right now, right here is a tool you can use. Reach out to Jordan, reach out here on the YouTube. We'll get you together with him and you can get those lessons. You can get faster today. Jordan, really big of you to share that knowledge and help the drivers across multiple leagues get better. Really appreciate that, dude. Great win tonight. Beautiful livery, and big shout out to your family, dude.
Yes.
Great having you back here again today, man. Go have yourself a nice, fresh, cold beverage. You have earned it.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. One last thing. Shout out to Tony for running that Fish Speed livery. It looks sharp and scary all night long. Yes, sir. So, fear the fish. See you guys later.
Ooh, fear the fish. I love a good sign-off, Zach.
You gotta love it, right? I mean, it's the key to getting popular. It's the key to having a fan base like Jordan Fisher has, having so many fishermen and fisherwomen supporting that driver. And that's why. It's the catchphrase and maybe just being stupid talented.
Yeah, winning helps, right? Like,
a little.
When you're collecting those dubs, that's 5 wins on the year. Great season for Jordan. And when Jordan wins, you know who I think of though? Colin.
Yeah.
Somewhere Colin is, he's happy to have fierce competition. I've talked to this guy multiple times, and he's so glad to see other people be fast. He loved his rivalry with David Cook. Miss you, brother. He loved the rivalry that he's had with Tony Rettinger. And I know he's loving seeing Jordan Fisher be so dominant, but it's just a seed growing inside his stomach that's just going to propel him at Iowa next week. If I was to make betting odds, if I was to be a guy that was putting up gambling percentages,
which you'd
never. No, I would never gamble unless you do. Then I would. No, I'm kidding. Unless you like it. I think though this is something though that's going to just power Colin and Tony. Yeah. I think next week we're going to just see some great racing between Iverson, Colin, and Jordan going into this thing. And then also, why not? I mean, the other guys at the top of this thing, Vulpes, Kevin Kyle, freaking Matt Novella, all these guys. And then Thornton after a DC. I mean, could you imagine your top 5 all day? You make the outside work and then blink. Oh,
yep. Absolutely brutal for Thornton. He's going to come out with a vengeance next week. And then on top of that, you are right. It's going to be super intense. And yeah, I think guys like Iverson and Bollinger were kind of at risk for plateauing, right? And you don't realize you're doing it when you are plateauing, when you're not improving at the rate you were before, until someone like Jordan Fisher comes and just starts whipping butt up and down the league and wakes you up. And I think, like you said, it's going to make Iverson and Bollinger into even better drivers. And not to mention, Fisher he's raising the floor of everybody in this league, whether it's him coaching them or just sharing the track with him, whether he's lapping you get to be behind him for a handful of laps and just think, wow, so that's the line. That's what he does. And you can try to replicate it going forward. It is a great thing to have drivers like Jordan Fisher in this league. It's frustrating when you're competing against him and losing to him every week, but you're going to find yourself being a Jordan Fisher by losing to a Jordan Fisher more often.
Yeah, you got to have speed, competitors that have speed if you're going to get faster. And then you go back to the rated races and you realize, oh my, I am racing the fastest people at the top of my class. And it's for a reason. That's because right here in these leagues, and that's what you're going to see on the Vortex Racing Network, is some of the fastest racing that is possible. And some of the cleanest too. Really good job by the boys here tonight. Also, pulling up that Vortex Racing Network schedule. Guess what? We are back, on Tuesdays. Baby. Tuesday night coming back. The Bonfire Racing League Big Truckin' Tuesday. Going to kick it off season number 13 at Kentucky. The new big Dennis Puckett Big Trucking Tuesday season 13 from Kentucky. Going to be on.
Nope.
Back. That'll be live with Kevin Kyle. And then Saturday will be that rebroadcast of the Thunder Series, the Friday Night Thunder Series from the Moonlight Racing League. And Sunday, the Bonfire Premier Cups Series. They will be resuming. Believe those boys will be at Daytona. So we're back. It's been a week. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We're going to have a good 3 weeks of broadcasts. And then, of course, Merry Christmas and Feliz Navidad for our bilingual friends out there.
Yes, I cannot wait, me and Gene. And we're in the nitty-gritty of nearly all these series if they're not starting up. Excited to get another season of the Big Truckin' Tuesday series underway. Going to dedicate this entire season to Dennis Puckett. I think every season going forward, which is the right thing to do, and I'm excited about that. But the DDIRL currently going to be going into its halfway point next week. Their drop race will be taking effect. We know how deep we are into these Monday nights, and the playoffs really in the nitty-gritty on Thursday nights. So we got all types of action. Make sure you don't miss out here on BRN. Make sure you're subscribed. Not to mention all the awesome exhibitions we have coming up on this network. The Drive for 500 coming in February.
Yeah, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we're going to have that Drive for 5. It is going to be a full-length race. Representatives from DDI, from Bonfire, from Moonlight, all will face off, and then it'll be open registration to anybody that doesn't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that will kill them on Valentine's Day. So you can go ahead and go head-to-head with some of the big names that you've seen here on the Vortex Racing Network. And if you haven't seen those big names, you know why? It's because you didn't subscribe. You need to subscribe, and you need to hit that little like button. And you know what? Go ahead and share. I know you got friends on your YouTube you probably don't care about. Share with them 3 times, maybe 8, just so
maybe 20.
You can torment them. Yeah, maybe 20. You know, it'll be a good time for everybody. So all of this made possible, of course, by our partnership with our sponsors. Want to give a big shout out to Chantilly Lace Photography. Chantilly Lace, Brandon and Krista Guerin, thank you so much for your sponsorship this year of the entire season of Monday Night Mayhem. 3 locations, Myrtle Beach and Charleston, South Carolina, as well as Savannah, Georgia. They are the premier photography firm on the East Coast. All of your family photography needs can be accommodated by Chantilly Lace. Not just weddings, even though they are fantastic at a wedding. They can also do the engagement photo. They can do baby photos. You want to do boudoir photos for your boyfriend or your girlfriend? We can handle that. You want to do the bar mitzvah? You want to do the quinceañera? All of these things can be memorialized. Chantilly Lace, they will help you set up the props. They will design the set for you. They can design your photography album as well that you will have for years to memorialize and remember this as you go into your golden years with your children and your grandchildren. Chantilly Lace, reach out today to memorialize all of your favorite and precious moments. Also, KK Woodscapes. You want to make a trophy for your league? You want to memorialize a championship? You want to make a phallic symbol for your last place in your fantasy football league? Reach out, Kevin Kyle. He will stain and burn a piece of wood better than anybody out there. KK Woodscapes, making trophies and taking names. Reach out to him. Also, big sponsor. Thank you so much, Kevin. Zach, what a race tonight. I can't believe there's only 3 more.
I know. These seasons always go by so fast. I'm never ready for them to end. But this has been an unbelievable season once again. The ceiling of the talent in this league is just beyond comprehension at this point. It's ridiculous the amount of talent that this league is showing week in and week out. This truly is one of the most elite iRacing leagues on the planet. And I think the evidence is all over this channel. So it's going to be a fun last 3 races. It's going to be a brutally long offseason like it always is. But, I mean, if all goes according to plan, we'll be right back here next season enjoying this league again. And we'll still be here for an extra couple weeks after this one concludes to wrap up the DDIRL season. And that doubleheader has been such an enormous success. That's going to be something that, whether it be DDIRL or another league, we're going to try to keep going. So I want to thank all the people who have been watching this season. This has been easily the biggest year in VRN history, and it's all because of all the subscribers, the drivers, and everyone who's made this possible.
Yeah, you guys at home making this possible for us. Big shout out to Alex Hillman and Michael Mata also for doing the live broadcast of the DDI Racing League on Monday. So it's just been a pleasure and a real blessing to have the opportunity to bring you, the viewer, the 2 live races here on Monday, and we'll be doing that for the next 3 weeks as we head toward that showdown at Kentucky and see who will it be. Can Colin Bollinger repeat, or will someone step up and snatch that KK Woodscape trophy away and claim their throne as the Season 5 champion? Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to broadcast for you tonight. I hope you had as much fun as Zach and I did. On behalf of myself, Mean Gene Money, Zach Panzarella, all the boys in the production truck, our sponsors, Chantilly Lace Photography, KK Woodscapes, the admin, Steve Fugit, Joe Vulpes, John Beverly, David Owens, Zach Panzarella, and anybody that I'm forgetting. Rich Schwingle. Yeah, I knew I was forgetting somebody. Sorry, Phantom. Been a pleasure to bring this to you. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you tomorrow night for Big Truckin' Tuesday's premiere. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.